What is up, Fantasy Endgame fam? Welcome, everybody. It is pretty much the best night of the year. If you're a football junkie like we know you are and we are, it is the NFL draft. Only been waiting months for this day because this is where everything changes. Not only we get to see the rookies where they land, but the domino effect and rookie fever that always comes with fantasy football. So, Chris, how you feeling about this year's iteration of the draft? Is it going to be crazy, unexpected like usual?
I'm sure there will be some unexpected picks as usual. I don't think it'll be too crazy this rookie class, at least for the skill players. Not very deep, not really very good, honestly. I do think I think we might see two QBs tonight. Obviously, I think we know Mendoza. I mean, almost 100% going to the Raiders at 1. It would be a shock if he doesn't. But I think we might see Ty Simpson go in the first round too. I think Love is probably going to be the only running back we see drafted tonight. I think we could see 4, 5, maybe 6 wide receivers because teams are wide receiver heavy. Maybe a tight end or 2, but I think that's really going to be it for the skill guys.
Yeah, and it brings up the point of how many fantasy relevant players we're going to see. And, obviously everybody's got their opinion on which players are supposed to go where and how valuable they are. I don't think anybody thinks that this is anything but a pretty, I don't want to say thin. It's putting it the nicest way possible, but pretty bad quarterback class. It's like one guy and then a bunch of maybes and a bunch of really we're desperate at quarterback. And that's the only reason we're taking this guy. Running back, not very deep either. You have one potential stud. And then, I mean, do you think we see any other running backs taken in the first round besides Jeremiah Love?
I don't. I'd be very, very surprised. This feels like the type of running back class where, first of all, I don't feel like there's a lot of running back, really needy teams. Sure, there are some teams out there. I mean, Seattle comes to mind, maybe Washington. But I don't feel like there's, teams that have a huge gaping hole at running back necessarily. And this doesn't feel like the type of class, it's not a class where we have a Bijan and a Jahmyr Gibbs in the same class. So I feel like, we'll see quite a few running backs go tomorrow, probably later round 2 into round 3, but I think Love is the only running back that's going to go tonight. And really, I'm very nervous for Jeremiah Love. I'm very nervous. I mean, I've heard it seems absurd to me, but I mean, I know to expect the absurd, but I've heard some people mocking him to the Cardinals at 3.
Yeah.
First of all, that would be absolutely insane for the Cardinals to take a running back at 3, but also it's how many running backs do the Cardinals need? Also, I know another popular spot is my Commanders at 7, which does make a bit more sense and maybe better for him long term, but certainly I don't think would be ideal this year, with them also signing Rachaad White. So also, Saints at 8. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But I think Love's going to be the only running back we see in round 1.
He probably should be the only running back. And let's face it, like I said, running back can't be top priority anymore because almost every team now uses some sort of a committee or timeshare. If there was somebody worth it, the only other RB I've seen mocked sometimes in first round is his teammate, of course, in Notre Dame, Jadarian Price. And that's the very end of first round. Maybe Seattle. A lot of people, connecting Seattle to a running back makes sense. No more Kenneth Walker. They don't really have any needs, obviously. I just don't know. I feel like this is always one of those things with running backs and receivers and these skill positions. It's we want these teams to take it because that makes it more interesting, but doesn't mean that that's their first priority. And let's face it, those teams like the Cardinals and the Titans, they could use a running back. They got other needs too. That's not the missing part to the equation. If only Arizona had a really reliable running back. For Cam Ward's sake, I really hope Tennessee loads up on the offensive line and maybe take his former teammate Francis Maui Noah. But anyways, or his other teammate, Ruben Bain. That would be nice.
I mean, the Titans would be a terrible landing spot too. I mean, again, maybe it could be fine long term, but they still have Tony Pollard. They still have Tyjae Spears. And however good you think Jeremiah Love is, and I think he's very good, as we've seen with guys like Bijan Robinson when he landed in Atlanta with Tyler Algier. And I was one of the people, and Young Money saying here, Chris, are you serious? Do you think Rachaad White would hinder Jeremiah Love? Yes. I was one of those people that was like, Tyler Algier is dust now. He's done. Bijan is too good. And look at what he did when Gibbs was drafted by the Lions, even though they used a top 10 pick on him. David Montgomery hindered his upside in year one. I mean, sure, Jeremiah Love, like long term, the Titans might be a good spot. Washington might be a good spot. But for year one, Rachaad White, I know people are going to he's always going to get knocked as a ball carrier, which I understand. But he's a phenomenal pass catcher and one of the best pass blocking running backs in the NFL. That is going to keep him on the field, and that will hinder Jeremiah Love, at least because we're going to, wherever Jeremiah Love gets drafted tonight, people are going to expect this guy to just be a stud RB1 out of the gate, right? That's just how we feel about first round RBs. But yeah, like we just as like we saw with Gentry last year, and he was getting all the work. Like we need these guys to be getting all the work if they're going to be studs out of the gate. Rachaad White's a vet. He's been good. He's not gonna. I'm not gonna say Rachaad White's gonna like be the lead back over Jeremiah Love, but if you think Rachaad White's just gonna stand on the sidelines and watch Jeremiah Love, I think you're underestimating Rachaad White and the way NFL teams treat rookies.
Yeah, I thought, after last year, like, why would they need a running back? They got Bill. Bill's the next.
Yeah, Bill's still there.
He's still there. He's on his rookie deal. We'll break down more running back, and I think Love specifically when he gets drafted, and then we'll talk about receiver. I think we should probably take this moment as we got 4 minutes, which, by the way, thank you. Props to the NFL for cutting the clock down to what was a ridiculous amount of time for a pick that these teams should pretty much know like what's going to be available. Thank you for making it reasonable. 8 minutes per pick. We can live with that. So I think we need to talk Mendoza. Right? He's going to be the number one pick here. He's going to go to the Raiders, right? No surprise. But let's talk fantasy because number one overall quarterbacks, they're going to be starting from the jump. There's going to be a lot of expectations. And then this is going to be hopefully a new era. They're going to try to make it a new era for the Raiders, right? Everything new there, coaching staff, and they got new skill players. They do have some good skill players in place. Gentry, you already mentioned their running back, was held back by that offensive line, and then some young receivers. So do you think Mendoza could be fantasy relevant year one?
I mean, define fantasy relevant. Like, will he have some moments? Sure, but I mean, we've seen with other rookie QBs, like how many, like even Caleb Williams, right? Obviously last year, Cam Ward, like how many rookie QBs come into the league and are just like instantly a top 10, top 12 fantasy QB. I don't think that's going to be the case for Mendoza. I do. Some people saying, like Brian saying, do you think he'll sit for a year, let Mendoza sit? But who are they sitting him for? Kirk Cousins? Like, are they really going to roll? I mean, I could see them starting Kirk Cousins if they don't feel like Mendoza is ready. But as soon as Kirk Cousins is 1-2 or 1-3 and he's looking terrible, they're going to go to Mendoza. Like, they just are. If they don't just start with Mendoza. So I think Mendoza could have some moments this year, but I'm not sure year one he's going to be completely fantasy relevant. I will say I do like what the Raiders did with the offensive line this offseason, bringing in Linderbaum, bringing in Buford. So it's gotten better. That was a huge issue. We'll see. I mean, obviously they're not going to be able to address offensive line tonight unless they trade up into the first round for a second pick, which they could, but they could address O-line more tomorrow. So I like, is he going to be one of those guys you want to start in fantasy? Probably not, but I mean, he'll be out there scoring fantasy points, I guess.
Well, the pick is officially in, and we have a shock. No, I'm just kidding. It's Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza is officially a Raider now.
Wow, they already made the first pick. I feel like in years past we had to wait forever.
I know. That's what I'm saying, man. It's a new era. Props to the NFL for not wasting time. Like, we already know what's going to go on here. But then right now the Jets are on the clock, and don't be surprised if that pick is in soon. They already got 5 minutes left on the clock. This is going to be a defensive player. Almost surely it's going to be either Reese or Bailey. Right? So, significant, but still not for fantasy quite so much. I'm just going to say this. The thing with Mendoza, finish on that, is you almost can't these days have a number one overall pick as a quarterback or anybody and just not start him right away, because then what are the optics? You're like, oh, this guy's not ready. He can't even start. Like, oh, you screwed up that pick. What's wrong with him? You just have to, right? You just have to learn trial by fire, which not great for fantasy prospects. Cam Ward, obviously was out there running for his life, and he can do that, but he didn't have anything that you would even think of as close to fantasy relevant ever in a game, because he had nobody to throw to and offensive line was horrible. I don't think Mendoza's situation is that bad with Linderbaum. Like you said, at least they did address the offensive line, because that offensive line was one of the worst last year. So it'll be a little bit better situation, I feel like, than with the Titans. But we can't lie to ourselves and pretend it's great. He doesn't have a legit receiver, like a clear number one guy. But I do like Mendoza. I think he'll be serviceable. I think he'll be fine this year. He'll be a fine backup, a good number two guy for redraft leagues. So there he is. It's official. Mendoza is a Raider, and the Jets now on the clock. Any chance the Jets don't go defense here?
It's the Jets. It's the Jets, so there's a chance. There's certainly a chance. I mean, it's the Jets, but I mean,
take a punter.
Definitely. Oh man, they're not that bad. Jets aren't that bad.
Well, so the Jets, really the question is Bailey or Reese. You have any opinions on who you like better? Bailey, kind of the more proven. Reese has higher upside, compared to like a Micah Parsons, but maybe a little more raw. And some people have come to like the Jadeveon Clowney, where it's like you thought he would just be a monster and he was good, but never great. You know what I mean? If you're on the clock here, if it's your team or, you're playing GM, do you have a preference, Reese or Bailey?
I mean, there's a part of me that says just go Bailey and just take the sure thing. But I mean, man, you're the Jets. Like, you might as well go for it, right? You might as well go for a potential game changer. The Jets have 2 picks in the first round this year? 3? 2 picks? Like, why not? Shoot for some upside here. Not that Bailey doesn't have upside, but like, I think Reese has the potential to be, like, they both have the potential to be good, but Reese has the potential to be better. So give me the guy that could potentially be better. Reese, you got another pick here, like kind of middle-ish of the first round. So, I mean, come on. In fact, literally in the middle.
They're 16.
You're the Jets. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's exactly what Jets fans ask every single year. What are you doing? We'll see what they do. It's interesting because I thought
the pick is in.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I mean, it wouldn't shock me though if they go like Carnell Tate here. I've heard rumblings that they really like him, and it's the Jets, but I think
Keith is like, you know what? They might as well just take a running back here.
Oh man, Jeremiah Love here would break the draft. It would. I don't know if I'm ready for Jeremiah Love to the Jets.
No. Let's see what happens here. You know me. I'm a Dolphins fan, so I really hope that whatever pick they make is really bad. But let's see. They're about to announce it. I don't know. I just think it was interesting because as soon as the season ended, it was like foregone conclusion. It's Reese, right? Arll Reese, like the best prospect in the draft. He's not going to go number one because it's got to be a quarterback, but it was Reese. And now it's like, well, maybe it's not Reese, maybe Bailey. So I just think it's interesting how that shifted.
But yeah, it looks like they picked Bailey.
It's Bailey. It is Bailey. Wow. See, I mean, look, You can't argue with that. This is actually a smart pick by the Jets, and it looks like a guy who should just come in and contribute right away.
Exactly. I think as long as it was one of those guys, couldn't really do too bad.
Yeah, not like Reese would have been a bad pick. Now is when it could get interesting. I would be surprised if the Cardinals went running back at 3 overall. That just seems a little desperate to me. It's especially with Reese on the board, a guy who could be a generational pass rusher with other needs, offensive line. You cannot ever go wrong with a stud offensive lineman. I mean, you really think they might go running back here?
Again, it would be as shocking as if the Jets did it. I don't think so. Like you re-sign Connor, you still have Benson there on his rookie deal. You sign Tyler Algier. Like, okay, I get like Connor's getting up there in age. Benson, who knows? Algier's whatever he is. But I mean, I can't imagine if you're the Cardinals, you're looking at your roster and saying that's a massive hole for us. Like they have way bigger holes. I think you just go. I think if I'm the Cardinals, I just go Reese here.
Yeah, I would be pretty shocked if they did go RB. And look, Jeremiah Love, clearly the best running back in this class. Is he like can't miss, no doubt, generational, like Saquon Barkley? Like, is he the next Saquon Barkley? I didn't get that vibe from him. I just don't see it. I just kind of reeks of
but even if he is, okay, like look at Bijan Robinson. Like Bijan Robinson, arguably right now one of the best players in the NFL on offense, one of the best offensive players in the NFL, regardless of position. Probably easily the best running back, can do everything. Has it helped the Falcons? Not really.
Not that much.
Right? Like, to me, like a guy like that is like, it's like when Saquon went to the Eagles. You take an already very good team and then you add that dimension and now they become unstoppable. But when you have needs like your defense can't stop anybody, your O-line, like we saw with Genty last year, your O-line can't block anybody. Running back just is not the need.
That's actually probably the best comp there is, talk about Saquon. Saquon with the Giants didn't move the needle a whole lot for that franchise. He was great. Like, he wasn't the issue. It's not he was disappointing, but it's not the most critical position and definitely need for these teams. So they still got a couple minutes left before we move on. I think this is a good time to say what is up to everybody who's on here. Thank you. What's up, Young Money on here, nice and early. Other John, what's up? Python is in the house. Let's see. Anybody else? Keith, of course. I said hi to Keith. Brian, what's up, Brian? How you doing? And we actually have it's already started. A not new member. It's John Wickering. No, John Wickering.
What's up, John?
For another 18 months just to keep it going. I think John at this point has his membership through like the year 2050 with all the months he keeps adding. But thank you, John. We always appreciate you.
Appreciate all of you. Good to see you guys. It's been a long time. I feel like for the first time since I guess the Super Bowl, feels like football's back. Like, it feels like football's back. I'm finally ready. I'm finally ready to start drafting again. I feel like football's back.
Yeah, because let's face it, it's just a lot of what ifs and maybes and like nothing happening. And these days, it's to the point where I don't even want to see another mock draft. Like, let's just get to the actual draft, because you're gonna see 1,000 mock drafts and they're all different.
I saw people dropping mock drafts today. I'm like, come on, the real draft is today. Do we really need another mock?
Thank God. It's almost the best thing about it is that we don't have to guess and mock anymore.
By the way, am I understanding this right? Are the Cowboys potentially going to trade George Pickens?
Well, there was some noise about that. They're saying yes, he's going to be franchise tagged, and basically like, no, you're not getting a deal. I don't know. I mean, you think he's going to complain his way out?
It's George Pickens. If anybody could do it, it's George Pickens.
Good point.
Him and AJ Brown, they know how to play the game.
Well, AJ Brown, again, that's another thing, right? That we never know the shocking draft day trades that happen. The big names, like AJ Brown is a good one, but AJ Brown we know is not getting traded until after June 1st. So, but that seems like it's foregone conclusion.
Right. It's just a matter of who, where.
Yeah.
Pickens signed his tag today, but that now opens the possibility of them trading him. Of course, I don't know if the Cowboys have any desire, but
yeah, it almost makes it more likely he gets traded because they're not getting, like they already said, like you are not getting a contract extension. You got to prove it to us this year, and players don't like playing under the tag for obvious reasons. So yeah, it doesn't mean they're going to do it, but it's a definite possibility.
I will say I'm a big fan of this faster clock.
Yes, me too. Big fan.
I feel like in years past we would be streaming. It would be like a 4-hour stream for the first round. We're already basically through 3 picks. I like this.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, they did. I mean, if you don't have your homework done, if you don't know who's going to be available and what pick to make, then
especially if you're an NFL franchise. Oh my gosh, they actually took Jeremiah Love.
The Cardinals. I'm seeing the pick. This is the stream, right? My live stream here on ESPN. So Roger Goodell is now announcing it. They actually
you gotta be kidding me.
They actually took Jeremiah Love. Oh my god. And like the only reason I'm not even more shocked is because I've seen it mentioned and mocked, and people have said like this could happen. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Wow. So Jeremiah Love, 3rd overall. Reactions. We got some reactions to this.
That's first of all. Pick? Well, I think Jeremiah Love's going to be a great player. So it's hard to ever say drafting a great player is a dumb pick, but man, when you're at pick number 3 and you have such huge needs, I don't know. We'll see. He's going to have to be insanely good.
Saquon Barkley was taken, 2nd overall? I think, is this the highest a running back's been taken since then? When was Bijan taken?
He was like 6.
Yeah. I was like, this, he better be generational if you're taking him that early with those needs. And who's the quarterback? Is this still Jacoby Brissett?
Jacoby Brissett, although he's trying his best to upset the franchise and not be the starter, which I don't understand. It's like, dude, you're getting a chance to be the starter.
It's like, yeah, he's complaining. Oh, man. All right. Well, fair question. Does this mean that Connor is gone, or is he just there sitting?
Restructured his deal.
Yes, it's veteran depth.
Like they literally restructured his deal this year.
It's crazy.
To keep him on the team.
I'm gonna say
they signed Tyler Algier.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Go Cardinals. Look, there are some franchises that just seem kind of like lost. I feel like Arizona is one of those. I don't know. Genty was taken 6th overall. I don't know. I don't think he's better than Genty. I don't think he's better than Bijan. Now I get it, it's more about the fit and everything like that, but I just number 3 overall, really? Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I remember. I remember when the Lions took Gibbs at 10 and we thought that was too early, but the Lions had a lot of good things in place. Like the Cardinals have so many weaknesses. I just don't. Oh man. I don't know. I mean, you cannot feel as good about, I know, we got some dynasty players on here. We got redraft players on here, but I mean, in Dynasty, I think Love probably still is the 101 because, like, are you really taking Mendoza over him? Are you really going to take any of the wide receivers over him? I don't think so.
No.
But how good can you feel about Love in year one?
Arizona doesn't exactly have the best offensive line either.
And it's like, we already saw what Tyler Algier did to Bijan. James Conner is no slouch.
That would be that would just be so funny if Tyler Algier scores 10 touchdowns again this year. Jeremiah Love owners are like,
I mean, it wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me one bit.
No. Look, I don't know if I could say I would be officially out on the number one running back taken, but if you think relative to where he'll be drafted, I don't think I'm going to have as many shares as anybody else.
Exactly. And I'm only talking redraft here. Obviously, Dynasty, it's different beast because Connor could certainly be gone next year. Benson could probably be gone next year. I think is it only a 1-year deal? What did he sign for? 2-year deal. So, I mean, okay, you might have to deal with Algier for a couple years, but Dynasty is still a ton of value. Yeah, definitely RIP Benson. But how it works in redraft. It doesn't matter. People can't help themselves. Like, he's gonna go late first, early second, just because. You know what I mean? It just is, and I think in redraft that's going to be too high. It's going to be too high.
Yep, I completely agree. I'm rarely completely out on a player, but out based on ADP, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be out on Jeremiah Love. And all the rookies, not even just running backs, but that these early rookie picks almost always get taken too high because the expectations are too high. Just think Marvin Harrison in Arizona a couple years ago, right? He creeped up into the end of the first round in some drafts, early second round. Wasn't worth it. So I don't know. It's going to be absolutely a make or break pick, and make or break for the Cardinals, that's for sure, but also for fantasy. Man. All right, well, it's Tennessee's turn. Let's see what they do. They're announcing the pick right now.
Carnell Tate.
Wow.
I mean, they certainly needed wide receiver.
They needed a receiver. Tate was mostly expected to be the first receiver taken. I didn't think he would go 4th overall, though. I thought he'd slip a couple of picks, maybe top 10. Wow. Man, he's being aggressive.
I mean,
all right.
I like this. I certainly like this pick for the Texans. It was definitely a need. I mean, they have, like a lot of teams drafting this high, they have many needs. That's why you're drafting this high. But look, Cam Ward needs a weapon. Shamiri DK, Alec Ayamanor.
Calvin Ridley's still there.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley. Come on, Calvin Ridley. Like, he needs a weapon, right? He needs a weapon. Tate's a guy I feel like he can be a true number one wide receiver in this league. Is this great for him year one? I don't know. It feels a little similar to like McMillan last year, right? Where it's like, okay, he's clearly going to be the wide receiver one, but how good is this offense going to be in order to support him? So, I don't think this is a terrible spot for him, but also not necessarily the best.
Definitely not the best for fantasy.
I was really hoping. Young Money asked earlier who I wanted Washington to take. I was hoping Tate would fall to them at 7 and they would take Tate because I think he'd be a perfect, compliment to Terry for one more year. I think Terry's got one more year on his deal, and then he becomes the guy. But
Tennessee definitely needed a guy, so this is just a smart pick. I would have preferred for them. I just think offensive line makes too much sense. You could get another receiver later. This isn't a super deep receiver class, though. So I guess they just want to make sure they got a stud.
Right, which is why I'm okay. Like, I guess you can make the same argument with Love. Like, it's not a deep running back class, although we know having an elite wide receiver one is way more important than a running back. in the NFL. But yeah, I mean, I don't think this is bad for the Titans at all. I think this is a good move for them. They needed something. You can't have Cam Ward out there throwing to nobody.
Right. It is good for Cam Ward. Fair question here. Other John saying who's the better prospect, Tate or Harrison? It was definitely Harrison, right?
Yeah, I think Harrison was a better prospect, but as we've seen, that doesn't always mean everything. You never know how these guys are going to translate, and there's still time. There's still time for Harrison, of course.
Yeah. So my question, we actually haven't really talked about this specifically. Did you have Tate as your number one receiver in this class?
I did. I thought he was, I don't want to say like clearly the number one in this class for me, but he was my number one. He's the one guy I looked at and I thought like, you know, he could land anywhere, whether he had to be the number one wide receiver for a team, a complimentary, and thrive, and he could thrive. Whereas a lot of the other guys, I feel like they need to be in the right situations. Like some of these guys, like I think Keon Coleman's a great example, and there's many others, but he's just the one that always comes to mind. A lot of people were very high on Keon Coleman, but I was like, man, this guy cannot be an X wide receiver in the NFL. Do not do it. Whoever drafts him. And what happened? The Bills drafted him to be the Diggs replacement, and he struggled because he's in the totally wrong role. Like, put Keon Coleman in the slot, and I don't know if he's a demon, but he's at least productive. But you stick him on the outside, and he cannot. He can't beat press. He can't separate. He gets eaten alive. There's some other wide receivers in this class. I feel strongly that way about one of them that a lot of people love and think is the best wide receiver in this class. And I'm worried he could go the Keon Coleman route. We'll see where he lands. But Tate was one of those guys I felt like if he landed on a team that already had an alpha, he'd be fine. If he landed on a team that needed an alpha, he'd also be fine. So I think Titans are fine with him.
That's a good way to put it. Like he's not a situation dependent. And yeah, look, early in the process, I had Lemon number one. I thought he should be the number one guy. But I see Carnell Tate with a higher floor, just more of a safer prospect. I don't know if he's ever going to be a stud for fantasy. I don't know. It's just interesting, too, because he wasn't even the number one receiver on his own team in college. I mean, he's coming out next year, Jeremiah Smith, could potentially be Carnell Tate with number 4. Why wouldn't you say, hey, maybe Jeremiah Smith should be number 1, if not for a quarterback? He is a dominant receiver. He's going to be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. was in college, same school and all that. But anyways, yeah, Tate didn't have huge numbers. He wasn't uber productive because he had a stud receiver next to him. But I do feel like he's kind of a more high floor play, which is why I didn't think he would go this early. But I guess he's safer than guys like Lemon, like you said, like Tyson. So Young Money, he got Tyson over Tate. I know some people do, but that's a lot riskier of a pick. I know that.
Well, Tyson's the guy I'm very nervous about, and it has nothing to do with injury. Tyson needs to land. If Tyson had gone to the Titans, I would almost certainly say he's going to bust. He would bust. He would be a bust. Because they would ask him to play that X wide receiver role, and he'd get eaten alive by NFL corners. Tyson has a lot of good parts to his game. If he can land with a team that already has that X type of wide receiver, right? Like, think of your traditional like Drake Londons, Jamar Chases, Cortland Suttons, like those guys who are going to take the team's number 1 corner every game on the outside. Then I think Tyson could be awesome. But if he goes to a team that wants him to do that, I think he's going to get eaten alive in the NFL. Whereas I think Tate can still thrive there. So we'll see where Tyson goes. I do really like Lemon, and I do really like Concepcion. Those are my top 3.
Yeah. Again, and that's why I don't know. To me, it's like, is there really a big separation between a guy like Carnell Tate and Casey Concepcion in terms of what they could do in the league? Is Tate that kind of potentially elite receiver. I don't know
Well,
if he is. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually a very fair question. I think all three of those guys have very similar upside potential. I will say this about Tyson. I do think he also has that kind of upside.
Oh yeah.
But unlike those three guys, I think Tyson needs the right role. That's where I differ than most people on Tyson versus like Lemon, Concepcion, and Tate. But yeah, I agree with you on that. I think really any four of those guys. You know, I'd even throw Denzel Boston in there, but he also needs to land in the perfect situation. I think they all could have similar upside, but he also needs to land in the
but in a different way, right? Very different type of receiver, like with Boston, or a physical.
He needs to be on the outside. Don't have him running slot routes.
The other journalists know who was a comp for Tate. Look, at the very best possible case scenario, I've seen CeeDee Lamb thrown out there.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess it's possible. I can't say it's not. You see that?
Yeah, I think that's a good one because he's the type of guy who like I think that's kind of how people feel about these like Lemon and Concepcion. Like they feel like these guys are just like these slot demons, kind of like how people felt about JSN because he played a ton in the slot, Ohio State. But as we've seen, he's been even better when asked to play on the outside. Like these guys are kind of just viewed as like slot demons, but they actually have the ability to succeed on the outside as well. And, you know, remember, okay, so Reese finally goes to the Giants. I think it's a great pick by the Giants. Which I hate to say that any pick by the Giants is a great pick. But, you know, CeeDee Lamb, if you remember, like for most of his career in the NFL, he was like 50% slot. It was only last year with Pickens there where he played a little bit more on the outside because they did, you know, let Pickens go into the slot a decent amount as well. So I think CeeDee is the upside comp here.
All right. There you go. So now the Giants make the pick. Not an offensive player. It's Arll Reese falling to 5. Again,
I mean, that's a great pick.
Yeah, it's a great pick. And, you know, Harbaugh, not surprising, going with the defense first. But, yeah, this guy, some people thought he would be number 1 overall. And then it was like, okay, well, the Raiders, and then they're going to take his quarterback, Mendoza, secured it with the championship and all that. I thought Reese was going to be number 2 overall. It seemed like it was, like, unanimous. And falling to 5, that seems – I mean, Giants fans definitely have to be happy.
Yeah, which doesn't make me happy.
No, but – it is what it is, and we have a trade. Yep. We have a trade. All right.
We got it.
So Giants at 5, Browns were at 6, and I'm seeing they're putting on ESPN too. The Browns traded this pick to Kansas City. The Chiefs are on the clock at number 6.
That's crazy. Like they went from 9 to 6.
Yep. And the Browns get their 9, their 74, and their 148th pick. So the Chiefs are after somebody. Who are they after? Are they taking a receiver here? They can't get Love anymore.
Well, that would be horrible if they drafted Love. They just signed Kenneth Walker to a huge deal.
What are they going to do?
I mean, it seems like my Goa, however you pronounce his name, the top offensive tackle here, probably makes a lot of sense. But do you need to trade up? Is that what you're trading up for?
It's someone that they really want and are worried that either the Commanders or the Saints would have taken.
I mean, I could see either of those teams drafting them. I mean, they both have offensive line needs.
Very interesting, though. Chiefs making a move. It's, you know, we're not used to seeing the Chiefs even draft in the anywhere near the top of the first round. So I guess this is new to them.
I mean, I think offensive line makes a lot of sense here. Like, you know, you just sign a running back to help take some pressure off Mahomes, bolster that offensive line.
Yeah, and just even before the injury, yeah, I feel like Mahomes was running for his life half the time there. He ran more than ever, and it's like that's not the key to success. Like he's doing it effectively, but you shouldn't need Mahomes to scramble to move the chains. And I feel like there was a lot of times they needed that. Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense to go offensive line here. There are good defensive players left. Ohio State's, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, but Kansas City, the defense wasn't the issue.
Right. The defense has been pretty solid for few years now.
It's weird though, because I like Maui Noah, for the Canes. He's probably the top offensive lineman available, but there's also Feno. I don't know. Do they feel like they had to get that one guy that whoever they didn't get, they didn't want?
That's what I'm saying. Like, did they trade up just 3 spots just to get the offensive lineman they want? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. Okay, well, hold on. Schefter's saying something. Let me see what he's saying.
Some people in the chat saying Mekhi Lemon, that I think that might break fantasy.
That would be crazy. Well, he didn't really tell anything. He just said they need help in the pass rush in the secondary. I mean, look, I'll just say this.
But again, did they trade up 3 spots to get like the top corner in the draft? Like, do they feel that?
I think, to me, the best overall player, not the most important, because his safety is not the most important position, but Caleb Downs, I think that guy's just like a stud. I think he's like a future Hall of Famer. I think he's just insanely good, and he can help any team right away. And only because he's a safety, he's not, already gone. But I think that guy is just going to be a monster. So maybe that's what they're targeting.
Well, they were targeting defensive back Mansour Delane at LSU.
Really? Wow. I see.
I'm kind of surprised they traded up. Like, you don't think you could have got him at 9?
I don't think he was even projected to go this early. Was he?
I mean, probably like
early,
in the top 10 to 15, but yeah, I feel like you could just get him at 9. I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised by that. You know what it is? They thought the Saints were going to take him because LSU, that they were like, that's what it is. I'm almost guaranteed that's what it is.
But like you said, I think even if they waited, I think Downs would have been a good consolation prize, but it is what it is here. Maybe the Commanders will go Downs. I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with the Commanders going Downs here.
It's funny. It is funny. I'm doing a little search here. There's an article that came out 2 days ago. Arrowhead Addict. Mansour Delane would be a terrible top 10 pick for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, how about a top 6 pick that you traded up for?
Yeah, and this is when this guy thought that they were going to take him at 9 overall. He is.
I'll say this about the Chiefs. I don't know why. Like, who's their secondary coach? Because it seems like every year they have this stud corner. And then when this stud corner is up for an extension, they're like, nah, go ahead, go somewhere else. And then the next, you know what I mean? Like, they just move on from these guys, and then the next man up, let's go. So maybe they just, they're like, they know how to develop these guys. So maybe he'll end up being good. But I can only imagine how whoever wrote that article is feeling right now.
Yeah, that guy is not having a good day.
A terrible top 10 pick, and they traded up for him. What's that?
Yeah, trading up for him. Like, to not just take him, but to trade up for him. Oh, man. It was definitely a need. I mean, it's clearly there was a need because they don't have Trent McDuffie, one of those, corners should, like I say, is not there anymore. I mean, that very obvious hole. You need a shutdown corner, and they think he's it. But I don't know. Really? I guess they thought the Saints, that's the only thing I can think of. They just said the Saints are going to take him, LSU. No, I got him.
Oh.
All right. Well, already got some surprises. It didn't take long. What's up, Ninja Finessin in the house, making the comp that nobody at all will hate. From Jeremiah Love to Caleb Johnson.
I don't think he's going to be chilling on the bench. You don't draft a number 3 to chill on the bench. But I also think we're going to see way more James Conner and Tyler Algier than people want.
Yeah. Caleb Johnson. Oh, I liked Caleb Johnson till I saw him play in the NFL.
Man.
All right. So let's see what's going on here. So now we got the Commanders. What's your team going to do? Pick his end.
Yeah, I'm hoping for downs here.
That'll be very nice. Well, they're not reacting, but the pick apparently is in. Oops. Yeah, so the defense did take a step back last year. Offense too, of course, but
well, I really felt like in what year are we in? In 2024, when they made that run, the defense way overachieved based on the roster they had. Last year kind of came back down to earth. The offense obviously underachieved last year, but I mean, come on. Terry McLaurin missing all of camp. Jaden Daniels, how many games did he even play last year? Like 5-6 games. Like the offense just never got in sync. I think the offense is fine. Could it be better? Yes. I wouldn't mind like a wide receiver here either. But I think that defense needs help.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Downs is the best player, but I'm going to guess they go Sonny Styles. Just help the linebackers out. But let's see.
Pick his bet in for, yep, you were right. Sonny Styles it is.
Okay. I'm like a slight delay here. All right. Well, there you go. Sonny Styles. I mean, look, you can't complain about that, can you?
No, I can't complain about Sonny Styles at 7. Definitely not.
Quinn, defensive guy, got his defense right. And if, JD stays healthy, hopefully everything just clicks for the offense like it should.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, when your quarterback, how many games? I feel like Jaden Daniels. How many games did he play last year?
How many games did he finish is the question. 7. Played 7 games.
Yeah, when you're and how many of those, like you said, how many of those games did he actually like start and finish? When your franchise quarterback plays less than half the season, you're probably going to struggle.
Yeah. All right. So pretty good pick here. I will say, I know if Tate had fallen there, that would make sense. But Jordan Tyson or maybe Lemon, next best receivers, would you have been happy if it was one of those guys, or do you think that's too early?
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded it. Again, I think that's certainly a need. Terry getting up there in age. I mean, who Treylon Burks? Who's the wide receiver 2 on this team? Like, for real, I don't even know.
That's it's a fair question. Hey, Treylon Burks, it's never too late. They have
He did have that one really nice catch. Remember?
That one catch, yeah. Hey.
Did that one-handed touchdown catch last year?
You never know. He had some moments. Well, they still you don't always have to take the position you need in the first round. You take probably the best player in the first round. You can still get a receiver in like round 2 or 3. All right. Saints are on the clock. What do you think they do? They could use let's see, everything.
Yeah, they can use almost everything. I can see Downs here. I can see Bain here.
Well, that's, for personal reasons, I'm very curious to see where Bain goes. I feel like Bain should have already been taken. Whatever team, he's going to be the thing. All the teams that pass on him, he's going to make them pay. He's going to make them pay. bane of their existence. I love, by the way, just got to say, this is first time in a while really looking forward to the first round of the NFL draft. We got some Hurricanes going. Should be pretty early. A little disappointed Maui Noah hasn't gone yet, but should be very soon.
Yeah, I mean, he could go here.
Yeah, well, that would definitely make sense. But again, anything makes sense for the Saints at this point. Honestly, they could use a receiver. I don't know. You really want to take like Jordan Tyson here when you could get a stud offensive lineman or a Caleb Downs? I don't think so.
Well, if we learned anything, they could. I know a lot of people were linking them to like Carnell Tate.
Yeah. And again, if it was Tate at 9, 8, 9, this range, yeah, it's good. I don't know. This feels early to take a chance on a guy like Tyson.
I mean, I agree, but do NFL execs agree?
We'll find out soon. It says the pick is in, so let's see what the Saints do. I remember it used to be that offensive line. It was like the staple of the top 10, right? Like, take your safe pick. Nope, not anymore.
He's saying it's Jordan Tyson.
Is it Tyson? I haven't seen it yet. Let's see. What is that? Well, it could be. I just haven't seen it announced yet.
But I think this is probably, if it is Jordan Tyson, this is probably one of those spots where I think he can thrive. Obviously, a lot of it will come down to Tyler Shuck, but he's going to be in this Kellen Moore offense. Chris Olave predominantly will probably be the guy who's going to take the other team's number one corner, which means Tyson probably will be able to play in that flanker slot role. So I think this is one of those spots where Tyson can thrive.
Well, let's see. I haven't seen it. Keith's saying it is Tyson. Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they're at commercial right now, so we're making us wait. Try to get on Twitter to see, but I forgot I don't have an account anymore.
Yeah, it's not even like, I remember in years past, like Twitter would spoil the picks. Now I can't even figure anything. Like I go on there and it's like I just see the same posts over. I'm like, where are the new posts? Why am I not seeing new posts? Like, this is horrible. It's horrible.
Which is why I didn't even bother. Which, by the way, anybody, if y'all did follow my Twitter, finally, after how many years, finally got hacked, and Twitter support was absolutely zero help. So I just gave up. Like, I'm done. So no Twitter. It's not even the same. It's been dead for a couple of years now anyway, so it's like...
It has.
Nope. Actually, you know what? Let's see if Blue Sky has anything. Keith, I know you're on Blue Sky. Maybe that's where you're getting it.
Yeah, so Saints did... It looks like it is official, Tyson.
Let's see. Yeah. All right.
I mean, again, I think that's a pretty good landing spot for him.
Yeah, it makes sense. Obviously, good opportunity. Like you already explained that. I don't know. Maybe Tyler Shuck's sneaky good this year.
I mean, he was sneaky good at the end of last year. Kellen Moore's just one of those coaches that are good for offenses. Well, now I'm on Twitter. I'm already seeing the Browns pick. So they're like, why are they so far behind?
Yeah, they haven't even announced on my stream. I haven't even seen the Saints pick come in yet. So, all right. All right. So let's see. We got he's coming out now. So we got Jordan Tyson now to the Saints. That means we got Tate also gone. I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say Tate over Tyson at this point. Where do you think Tyson belongs in redraft? Anywhere even near the first couple of rounds, first few rounds?
I don't know about that. I mean, remember, Olave is still there. Olave's a stud. But I certainly think like it almost kind of feels similar to when like Addison went to Minnesota with Jefferson there. Like he's going to have some spike games. Like I think he'll be a great best ball pick. I'm not sure, in redraft. He'll be one of those guys that you'll probably like, you'll be too scared to bench him, but you'll also be kind of like nervous to start him.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Now, did I see this right? Did the Giants we've got some trades, looks like.
With a new trade for the Giants?
That's what ESPN's showing, but I don't know.
Well, we got Cleveland on the clock right now at 9. I still see the Giants at 10, but again, could be on delay here. Who knows?
Yeah, so this is saying the Giants take, how you pronounce the name? Magoa?
Maui Noah?
What?
Maui. I know it's totally spelled differently. It's that they say Maui Noah.
All right. Well, they took Maui Noah because the Browns took Feno at number 9.
All right. Well, we'll see. I haven't seen an update yet, but
it seems like they're way behind here.
Yeah, you're gonna be hating to face the Giants now. Are you worried? Are you legitimately new coach, new two high-end draft picks? Could the Giants be kind of sneaky good this year?
Well, I mean, look, you got a good head coach there, Jackson Dart. We'll see how healthy Neighbors is. I'm a little nervous for Neighbors, how healthy he's going to be, but I mean, there's potential with that team for sure. For sure.
There is. I mean, that's the thing. I realized last year lost cause because of injuries, but Dart to Neighbors, they do still need a better running game, but they could address that later. And Jordan Tyson really did not want to be a Saint. He's taking it pretty hard. He's crying on the stage. Just like, man, any team but the Saints. Nah. I'm just kidding. Hey, there are worse teams. At least you didn't go to the Jets.
I would be happy to go to the Saints, especially with Kellen Moore there, man. He's an offensive guy.
Yeah. All right. He looks happy now. So we got Cleveland and then Giants. Still waiting for them to announce those. Let's see. They have not gone off the board yet. Well, still Downs. Still feel like Downs should go soon. Ruben Bain. The Dolphins aren't too far off. The Dolphins land Ruben Bain. I might have to go buy me a jersey. And that's a bad idea because the last jersey I bought, Jalen Waddle jersey. Not looking good right now.
And Tua?
To go next to my Tua. It's funny because it's true.
No, the Dolphins have their choice of Bain or Downs.
Yeah, well, I would be happy with either one. Yeah, the Dolphins, they cleaned house, like completely cleaned house. But you know what? If you're gonna start fresh, you might as well, right? Just start from the bottom. And they need everything now at this point. Just be honest, except for maybe running back if they happen to keep Achane, which sounds like they are. But yeah, they pretty much need everything and anything. So get the best player.
Yeah, apparently everybody's untouchable but Achane for some reason.
Go figure. Yeah, so I feel like these next couple of picks, we should see some of these O-line and D-line go downs also. So let's see. The Browns pick has been in for the last 42 minutes.
Seriously, it's like we already know who they picked.
Here we go. Now they're officially announcing it on the show. And Spencer Feno. All right. Safe pick. Pretty safe pick there.
Yeah, I think a good pick. They certainly didn't they lose their entire offensive line this year?
Pretty much, yeah. All right. Yeah, that's fine. We don't have to worry too much about what the Browns do. They'll still somehow be insignificant. Yeah. They needed offensive line. They really did. So that's good. Is it going to be? Here's the question with the Browns. I can't believe I'm saying this because it's a real thing. Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders, son of Dion, or is it going to be Deshaun Watson?
Oh, they can't really go back to Deshaun Watson. I mean, I guess they can, but man,
there's rumors. I mean, he's still under contract, so why not?
Yeah.
No. Not buying low on Dynasty.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
The window is only going to be open so long. All right. Well, I think it's probably going to be Shedeur Sanders.
I hope it's Shedeur Sanders.
No, Keith, I do not have an Achane jersey. That would have been a smarter purchase than my Jalen Waddle jersey, but did not foresee Jalen Waddle getting shipped off. Did not see that coming. Nope. Oh, wow. I didn't pay that much for it. Don't worry. It's not a real one. And then, well, there you go. Back to back. Offensive line, Francis Maui Noah to the Giants. I don't know. That's a smart pick. Kind of scary to see the Giants actually making not one but two really smart picks early in the draft.
Oh wow. The Cowboys just traded up to 11 from your Dolphins.
They were at 12, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. They swapped. Wow, okay. So they really wanted whoever they thought the Dolphins were going to take.
Well, that means they really want Bain, or I'm guessing they really want Bain or Downs here. And the Dolphins are probably like, yeah, sure, we'll take whoever's left over.
Either way, you're getting a stud. I think with the Cowboys being here, I would think it's Downs. But
yeah, that secondary.
You know,
that secondary was horrible last year.
If Jerry Jones still has any say, I don't even know if they let him, show up anymore to the draft. But if he has any say, then they're going to take like Lemon, so a receiver.
Oh man, if they traded up one spot to get Lemon from the Dolphins, who almost certainly, or like one of these who almost certainly weren't taking one of those guys, that would be crazy.
That would be hilarious. But yeah, it's funny that Daniel Jeremiah mock draft had the Dolphins taking Bain and then the Cowboys taking Downs. So if the Cowboys traded up just to take Downs anyways, then that would be funny. But no, look, that they could technically. I was like, you can't really get a bad player at this point. you could take a player that's the wrong fit or like the wrong need, but I don't think they can screw this up too badly. But then again,
it's the Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys. So let's see. All right, so we got our first Kane off the board. It's Maui Noah. Bane not too far behind.
All right, so yeah, it looks like the Cowboys went with Downs.
Look, that's a difference maker. I hate to give the Cowboys props, but he's telling you he's going to be a stud, and it's a smart pick. I don't know. Did they really feel like the Dolphins were taking him? They could have. I mean, they definitely could have.
I mean, they definitely could have. You got to think the Dolphins were going to go Bane or Downs. I mean, you got to think the next two picks were Bane and Downs in some order. So,
oh man, if the Dolphins go screw this up, take the hometown boy. If they do not take Bane here, I will be kind of pissed, because it's too obvious. It's in your lap.
If they don't take Bane, am I gonna have to finish the stream by myself?
Well, no, I'll just take a little break. I'll go and grab one of my old Dolphins jerseys, not Dan Marino, of course. I'll take my Waddle jersey and I'll go burn it, and then I'll come back.
All right.
A spiritual cleansing kind of thing. Look, they could take a receiver. They obviously don't have Waddle anymore. They don't have Tyreek Hill, and I don't know who they have at receiver anymore. So they absolutely could take a guy like Lemon, but they shouldn't, because that's not how you build a franchise. Against with your number 3 receiver in a draft. Wow. I didn't even know. I forgot. The Dolphins got Tutu Atwell and Jalen Tolbert.
You know what? I forgot that they signed Malik Willis.
Well, that I did not forget.
Dolphins quarterback. Oh, yeah, that's right. They signed Malik Willis and then traded everybody away.
Yes. So on the one hand, you signed Malik Willis, give him a receiver. I'm not kidding. That according to the depth chart, our number 1 receiver is either Tutu Atwell or Jalen Tolbert. And then there's Malik Washington. That's it. So, but I would much prefer to see a receiver in round 2, 3, and take a really good defensive player. I don't know, Ruben Bain. Let's do that.
Yeah, I think Ruben Bain's the move here.
He's definitely the move. What's up, Anthony? Anthony jumping in from baseball to football. No, don't worry about it. Yesterday was it's midweek. It was kind of slow. How's the draft going? Well, it's been interesting. Some surprises like usual. No, you're still on the board. You're still on the big board, Anthony. You haven't signed yet. But yeah. I wonder. Well, actually, that's a good point, Brian. What did they give up to get that 1 pick higher? Which they maybe didn't need to do. I don't know. Let's see if
they gave up 170 and 177 and 180.
Well, that's not that much. To get the player you really, really believe in and a position you need, you know what? That's actually not too bad, because it was only 1 spot. They shouldn't have had these up a second or third or something like that.
And if Downs ends up being a stud, like we think, you're not going to miss those. You're not even going to remember who was picked at 177 and 180.
Yeah, and let's face it, good for the Dolphins too, because they don't have, assuming they didn't have just 1 player they coveted there like the Cowboys, but they have a lot of needs. So collecting more picks for a team who's clearly rebuilding, I think that makes more sense. So this may be a win-win for both teams. Two-fifths. Yeah, 2/5. Nobody's going to complain about that. What's up, Andrea? Also in the house. All right, well, they're at commercial break. So we're gonna have to wait a little bit for this next pick. But Cowboys got their guy. They're going to get their guy. Then I think like after the Dolphins pick, probably maybe Dolphins go offense. It's possible, but yeah, after that, I feel like we see offensive players.
Yeah, I feel like the Rams are a team that could go with like Lemon. I feel like Lemon could go to the Rams.
I've seen that a lot. A lot of people are putting Lemon to the Rams, which you're like, wait a minute, don't they have 2 elite receivers already? They do, but what else do they need really? Like they don't need a whole lot.
That's the thing, and not only that, I mean, Adams is getting up there in age. You know, you don't know, can he stay healthy all year?
Yeah. And then
never a bad thing to have another weapon.
Well, and then what's going on with Puka? He's a little off.
Yeah, but you know how this ends. He'll be fine.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, we saw this coming. There was some weirdness throughout the end of the year. So hopefully he gets it right. I mean, look, you want the guy to get right and to succeed. So
right.
Hopefully. It's Caleb Downs. I hate it because I live in Cowboy country here in South Texas, and I'm not a Cowboys fan. So seeing the Cowboys do good things, a little irritating, but this was a great pick. I really think Caleb Downs is going to be a monster. So hate to say it, but good move by the Cowboys. Sorry, Brian.
We've had 4 Buckeyes drafted in the first 11 picks, and they still couldn't win the national championship.
You know why? Because they ran into that man, Ruben Bain. That's what it is. Honestly, not as good as the 2001, best college football team ever to exist, Hurricanes, but that defense just destroyed Ohio State. It almost won the championship because it wasn't the offense, right? We barely put some points on the board at the end. We kept us in it, but almost got the championship. But oh well. Yeah. Bain is...
I just like to rag on Ohio State anytime I can.
Oh yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I got no problem with that, trust me. But yeah, they had a great team. All right, it does say the Dolphins pick is in. I'm hoping it's Bain. That's all I can say. Just hoping it's Bain. Who else would they even take that would make sense here? I don't even know. Yeah, I know they need everything. I guess they could go offensive line. They got like Proctor, but that's boring.
I mean, the Dolphins pretty much need everything but running back.
Yeah, it's just Bain is so obviously the best player on the board. If you don't, he's just the best player left. He just is. It's too obvious. Come on, keep him there.
Well, I haven't seen who the Dolphins picked at 12, but I'm seeing reports that the Rams are taking Ty Simpson.
Really? Wow.
And apparently Sean McVay told Matthew Stafford today of their decision, but made it clear it's for whenever Stafford decides to move on.
I would think so. Having a QB competition with Ty Simpson and Matt Stafford seems a little weird because why would Stafford still be in the league if he's not going to be the starter? He'd be like, peace, I'm out. Yeah. Well, let's wait. I have thoughts on Ty Simpson. I know you do too, but let's see. Now, I really hope the Dolphins don't take Ty Simpson. I really hope they don't. I know they shouldn't because they got Malik Willis, but just put it out there. If that happens, I will rage quit. I will walk off. All right, well, they're dragging this one out too.
Ooh.
Is it bad news? Something happen?
No, nothing happened. I don't think you're gonna like the pick.
So you're telling me it's not Bane?
It's not Bane.
Wow. You have the layup there. You miss it. All right. Well, they're about to officially announce it, at least on my end. Let's see. And, I'm just going to say that the whole thing with Bane, like the arm length, at what point do you just look at the fact the guy dominated every single team he faced, including the best teams in the country?
But this is like people worrying about QBs. Remember, people were worried about Joe Burrow's hand size?
Exactly. Wow, it is Proctor. This is what I said.
No.
Well, if it had to be someone besides Bane, that would have been my next choice, like I said, because, we need a receiver, but I don't know if Lemon is like for sure difference maker worth this early of a pick. At least get a guy who can be like the foundation of your offensive line. You got a quarterback at least. You want to keep him upright. So this is like the boring but sensible pick. So I'm okay with it. I wanted Bane, but I don't hate the pick itself.
So now we get to Ty Simpson to the Rams.
It's like a done deal or what?
It's a done deal. I mean, the pick's not officially been announced, but it's in. It's in. I don't mind this pick. First of all, you have some insurance. I mean, Stafford is up there in age. You are in a kind of a Super Bowl window here. If Stafford goes down, maybe Simpson. I'll say my feeling on Simpson is I think Simpson has the talent, but there's also a ton of risk. We've barely seen this guy. He started like 15 games in college. That's it. But I think he does some things well, and I got to give Sean McVay the benefit of the doubt. Sean McVay is one of those guys I got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. All right. So look, Ty Simpson should not be a first-round pick. Probably not. This again, it screams desperation just for the fact that which is again, it's weird because the Rams shouldn't be desperate for a quarterback, but it's almost like, well, we don't need anything else. Like we can afford, it's like a luxury, but why not take the luxury of a receiver who, if Devontae Adams gets hurt again, or he doesn't last more than another year, you already got his replacement there. You know what I mean? I don't know. This is kind of like, I don't know. It's just such a thin class. I get that teams are desperate for any sort of a starting quarterback or someone who could be a potential franchise quarterback, but you can't just make a guy that because you draft him early. It's like, well, we think you're a first rounder, so therefore you're worth being, we're going to make you, only because Sean McVay could be the guy who develops him into a really good quarterback. But I'm going to bring it up because I know I forget the names, the list of quarterbacks with that few starts under their belt going into the NFL. I know you've probably seen this too. It's not a good list. It's a lot of busts. It's not good. So let me bring it up. Let me see.
Yeah, exactly. I think to your point, this is like a luxury pick, right? It's like, hey, we don't have any massive needs. So, let's take a chance on Simpson. Obviously, Matthew Stafford is a starter. There's no debate here. But he's 38 years old. Like, what if he hangs it up after this year? What if he has a serious injury? So I think this is just a team that has a luxury pick, making a luxury pick.
Yeah, it's just I just don't think he's worth the pick. He's just not a first round talent. He was okay, but he was not like he was in those 15 starts. He was so dominant. All right, here it is. Here's the list. Quarterbacks who were taken in the first round in the past 20 years who have fewer than 20 college starts. All right, and this Simpson falls in this category. Anthony Richardson, Mitchell Trubisky, Cam Newton. Okay, Cam Newton was really good, but Cam Newton also was as good of a runner as he was a passer. Dwayne Haskins was a good one. Mark Sanchez, Trey Lance, Kyler Murray. Let's face it. I think we can just say Kyler Murray's kind of a bust. Mac Jones and Ryan Tannehill. There it is. Ty Simpson to me is like Mac Jones 2.0.
I think that's fair.
So if you could do it all over again, would you take Mac Jones and pick 13 overall? I wouldn't.
Well, I wouldn't, but Sean McVay might.
I guess so. Obviously, he is. Do you think that he thinks he can make Simpson into the next Matt Stafford? There's no way you can say he's not that big and strong. He does not have that kind of arm strength. Just not. There's no way you can just like will it. Like, you know what he could be? Like Jimmy Garoppolo. Sure.
I think Sean McVay believes he can. I mean, he got Jared Goff to the Super Bowl.
Goff is a decent quarterback. He's still put up decent numbers in Detroit. Like he's not elite, but he's not bad. He's kind of like in the middle. I think Goff is a good quarterback.
He's okay.
He's better than like half the quarterbacks in the league.
I view Goff as like an average NFL quarterback.
Well, I think back in the day, he would have been considered an average NFL quarterback. These days, I think he's better than half the other quarterbacks in the league.
Like if you put Goff, like, you know, on the Titans, I think Goff's terrible. You put Goff on this year's Dolphins, he's terrible.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. I think he makes the team a little bit better than they would be with another quarterback, but he also, of course, his numbers go way down. But yeah, the supporting cast he had with the Rams and the supporting cast he has with the Lions, I mean, that's a fair point. He got great offensive line, good receivers, and all that. So I don't know. I don't think Simpson is even the next Goff.
Well, I don't think so. I think the nice thing about the Rams picking Simpson is we don't have to talk about Ty Simpson this year.
That's true. That is true. We know the fantasy.
Unless Stafford goes down, and then, of course, everybody's going to be asking about Ty Simpson. But
yeah, no,
the Rams picked Ty Simpson. That's why we're talking about Ty Simpson.
Yeah, so it says the Rams pick is in. They just come back from a commercial, so it hasn't been officially announced, but let's see. Yeah, that's a good point. To Keith's was saying Stafford has that toughness. I don't just mean physical because he's a big guy for a quarterback, but that he has mentally tough. I don't know. I mean, we'll see about Simpson, but how do you know? Because you haven't seen him start more than 1 year. You know.
True.
Oh, he's there. I thought Ty Simpson wasn't going to be in the draft in person.
He was there in person?
Yeah, they just showed him. Well, then he must have known something.
So, yeah, the NFL knew the Rams were taking him?
They know everything. It's all planned ahead of time. All right. Now they're officially announcing it. Yeah, I'm surprised to not think he was. I figured at this point he would be a first rounder because teams are just desperate for a quarterback and like, we can do it. This just feels early. And my boy Bain is just sitting there. It's just not right. Okay. So that means now we got the Ravens on the clock at 14. Ravens A lot of people mocking them to go with a tight end. Could be the first tight end taken in this year's draft. Kenyon Sadiq. You think they do that?
I think that would have made some sense, but they didn't.
So the pick is in already.
Yeah, they went with another name I can't pronounce.
Offensive lineman?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. The Penn State guy?
Yes.
Is it Ione? Ione? Vega Ione. Yeah. All right. Boring but sensible, just like the Dolphins. So that means we still got Lemon on the board. We still got Sadiq on the board. We could see some other receivers go. I would think Lemon's going to be the next receiver taken. So here's the question. Eagles are coming up. Do the Eagles get their A.J. Brown replacement?
I don't know if Lemon's A.J. Brown replacement, but he certainly would be a big help for that offense.
All right. And the Bucks are coming up too.
You got the Jets. I think the Jets could go wide receiver here. Panthers could go wide receiver again.
True. That's true. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to see any more quarterbacks go off the board. Don't expect another running back this round unless it's Price, and that would be the very end of the draft. The end of the round, I should say. So we still got some receivers who could be taken. Oh, you'll never guess who's in the house. What's up, Roberto?
What's up, Roberto? We are back. We are finally back.
Yes, we are so back finally. Feels good. Now we got a lot to talk about too. All right. Yeah, so the Rams with Ty Simpson. There's another thing, which, by the way, I mean, you can think about it. For a while, it was like, well, Alabama quarterback. Not a very good track record lately with these Alabama quarterbacks, is there?
No, but
just saying.
You know how that script can flip in a heartbeat.
I mean, it could, but I don't know. I don't really see Ty Simpson as a guy to do it.
No, probably not. Especially, I mean, he's stuck behind Matthew Stafford. Like, he's not even get a chance to play for maybe 2 years.
Right.
I mean, he's certainly not going to get a chance to play this year unless Stafford goes down with an injury.
Right. All right. No worries, Roberto. Congrats again, by the way, on fatherhood. Hopefully it's treating you well.
You better win a lot. You better win a lot of dynasty and money leagues.
Yeah. It's gone from a luxury to a need. All right, says the Ravens pick is in. So I guess that whole clock thing, like the 8 minutes, that was just for show. Because I haven't seen ever since the first few picks. They haven't even shown the clock. Like, they're not even pretending that there is a clock, and they just put the pick is in, and then they leave it for however long they feel like it.
Yeah, it's just the pick is in, and then it just sits there.
Yeah. Now they're announcing it. Yeah, but they legit are not following the clock whatsoever. All right. Well, there it is. We already knew it. It was the offensive lineman from Penn State, Ione. for
Yeah, then
Baltimore.
Reuben Bain finally off the board to the Bucks.
The Bucks on the clock. It says the pick is in. Pouncing, thankfully, should have been the Dolphins, but oh well. At least, well, he stays in Florida. That's nice. So Tampa Bay.
True.
So they got Vita Vea and Reuben Bain next to each other. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Wow. Do not even attempt to run the ball against the Bucks this year. Yeah, the Bucks have some nice individual pieces on defense. It just didn't always come together at times. Their defense was better last year, but a little inconsistent. But I really feel like it could be really good.
What's that?
Like the Bucks defense could be really good now.
Yeah, I think it's still it should be improved. I think the secondary still needs work.
Yeah, I always liked Winfield. I thought he's a really good player. It takes more than one player, so I get that. They were kind of like middle of the pack on defense, well, kind of like they were on offense, like good sometimes, but inconsistent. That's a smart pick. I mean, their needs after last year's draft, now they definitely need to address the defense. All right, good question, Maury, 17. What are you more excited for? This year's crop of rookie receivers or last year's crop of rookie receivers?
Probably, I mean, it's usually the sensible answer is to say the second-year players. Because, I mean, really, let's be honest. Like, how often do the rookies really live up to expectations? Not that it doesn't happen, but, you know, a lot of times they underwhelm. So, probably more the second-year players.
You know what? I don't think it's like the best receiver class this year, but looking back and I'm going through, like, am I forgetting somebody? Like, I know Tet, Luther Burden, of course, everyone thinks he's going to go, crazy this year. And I always like Luther Burden, but who else? There really was this last year's class really was disappointing. I mean, no rookie receivers really were huge impact players. Igbuka, maybe, I guess now with Evans gone. Yeah. Igbuka could, but then it's just really thin. But then again, it's like, okay, do I feel like there's more than 3 guys in this year's class?
Right.
It's a big crapshoot. I like Tate, but like I always said, I think he's more of a floor play, high floor than a legit stud receiver. Tyson is a big wild card. Boston is a big wild card. Lemon is, I don't know. I think he could be good. I don't know if he's going to be an elite player either, though. So I feel like this year's class might have more players that are productive than last year's, but I don't think it's got as much high-end talent. Yes, Anthony, to answer your question, we're going to be on tomorrow too.
All right, so Jets could be interesting here. This could be our next wide receiver. I mean, Jets can go pretty much any direction they want, honestly.
Yeah, so right now the Bucks haven't announced their pick. They're on commercial. But it sounds like it's Bain, and then the Jets, and then we got the Lions, and then got the Vikings.
Well, here come all the Brock Bowers comps. Sadiq. Maybe not Brock. Yep, Sadiq to the Jets. And I only say the Brock Bowers comps because everybody can be like, well, look at what Brock Bowers did with Geno Smith and with the Raiders.
Geno freaking Smith. Still.
There goes my any hope for my Mason Taylor shares.
Yeah, right. What happened to that? This just I know. They felt like it was a good value. Like they couldn't let him slip anymore. They liked him better than a receiver like Lemon. Don't they need receiver too?
Yeah, but I mean, Sadiq almost can like kind of be a wide receiver, right? Like he's not out there to block. So
No. Sadiq, that's interesting. Interesting indeed. I know that the Jets have Garrett Wilson still, but not a lot of depth back there. So, no, receiver would have made more sense. They feel like they keep going tight end too. Remember, we got Ruckert a couple years ago. Everyone was all excited about him. He hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
Like we're just going to keep trying until we get a really good tight end.
Well, I think they got a really good one this year. I think Sadiq is really good, but I mean, it's still Geno Smith, man.
Yeah. All right. Well,
so bad last year.
All right, Jets. I can't say it's a bad pick. It's a good player, and this is about where he was expected to go. They do need help at every position, so not bad. It's not a bad pick.
Yeah, I think so far they've done a good job.
All right, there goes. Now, excuse me, they're officially announcing the Bucks pick on the stream. All right, excuse me, I'm gonna sit back and watch Ruben Bain highlights. Relive the good old days. Hey, looking slick. Like everybody's coordinated. Got to coordinate. All the brown. Man, the way they all dressed, you'd think he would have expected to go to Cleveland. There you go, Bain. Let's see. We got Bain here. Jets are up. After the Jets, we got the Lions. Lions go boring.
I mean, probably. What do the Lions really need? I mean, they could use wide receiver. Well, I mean, Jameson did make some strides last year.
Yeah, probably O-line.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't see him going running back here. Nah. Yeah, Lions probably go boring. Vikings probably go boring. Panthers, I think we could see a wide receiver. Like, Leggett hasn't really panned out. Coker, whatever. I could see the Panthers going wide receiver again.
Well, I don't know. This could be it for Coker. The breakout. We saw it. We saw it late last year.
Maybe.
I'm still gonna have way too many Jalen Coker shares. I already know it. Let me see. Where was it? No, I really do feel like he ended. Okay, it wasn't that great. It was like it was decent. He had a decent end to the season. He had some decent games. But like how many stats can you put up with Bryce Young at quarterback, honestly?
Well, but you know who's still the quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah. Which means I'm gonna have too many shares of Jalen Coker because it's not gonna pay off. All right, here we go.
Any shares might be too many shares.
Yeah. Yeah. Best ball. That's where it's at. There you go, Bain. All right. Now they're announcing, or no, never mind. They were going to announce the Jets pick, but I guess not. Let's see what Bain says. Yep. Exactly. Bain doesn't mess around. No. It's a good way to put it. See, Keith's with me. Not ready for rehab yet. Give it one more year. One more year.
One more year.
All right. So we're waiting for the Jets to officially, or for them to officially announce the Jets pick. Yeah, we could have. Let me see. Yeah, we could have a kind of a string here of boring picks, boring for fantasy. That is, might see a receiver or two, but yeah, there's just no guarantees. I mean, it could be a few picks before we see a receiver.
I think the Panthers maybe, Cowboys maybe if they're really going to trade Pickens, but not the Steelers, not the Chargers, maybe Eagles. Maybe Browns. I still think the Browns are in line to pick a wide receiver at 24. Hopefully not the Bears. Please no. Please no.
Bears, no more DJ Moore.
I know, but they got Burden, they got Odunze, they got Loveland.
All right. Yeah, there it is. Official. Kadian Sadiq. Yeah, I'm showing the highlights. I mean, he basically looks like a receiver, like an oversized slot receiver.
Exactly. He's not going to be out there to block much.
No. Any other tight end you think gets taken in round one, or is that it?
What's that?
Any other tight ends might get taken in round one?
I doubt it.
Yeah. Don't think so. One guy that's interesting might be the next one taken, Eli Stowers, but I don't think anybody's got a first round grade on him.
Yeah.
All right, well, still waiting on Lemon. Lemon's still out there. Every other receiver, only two taken. Boston, Concepcion, Omar Cooper could go. Man, I don't enjoy seeing the Jets make good draft picks.
All right, Lions took offensive tackle Blake Miller.
Yeah, I figured. All right, Lions go boring, and they're a commercial. All right.
RIP, my 3 new Laporta dynasty shares. Why? What happened to Laporta? Yeah, Sadiq went to the Jets, not the Lions.
Yeah, I was like, RIP Mason Taylor.
If Sadiq had gone to the Lions, we'd be like, what? What the heck?
So we had one trade, but we had two trades. Sorry, the Cowboys, Dolphins, and we had the Chiefs move up, but no other big trades. I don't know. I feel like at this point, is there anybody worth trading up for? It's like a desperate need. I don't feel like it.
I think as we get later in the first round, if there's teams that have a early round 2 pick, we see that sometimes where they try to move up in the first, get their guy. Not always for an offensive player, though.
No, not necessarily for the offense. Browns could take a receiver.
Yeah, Browns I definitely think could take receiver. Eagles as well.
Speaking of AJ Brown, the Eagles, it seems like it's like already a done deal, right? They just have to wait. There's any chance he doesn't get traded?
I mean, I don't think so, unless this Mike Vrabel thing derails everything.
Did that? So okay, so as I told you, my Twitter got hacked. I don't even use it that much anymore, and I just get my news from other sources. So I went on today just to look in social, and did that just happen? Like, did that just break today? Is this a brand new thing, or has this been brewing a couple of days now?
Well, what broke today was basically like Mike Vrabel having to admit to this very long affair with Diana Rossini without like coming straight out and saying he had an affair with her. But there are pictures, I guess now that there's pictures of them like kissing and stuff at some resort after right after he'd been fired by the Titans. So yeah, so I guess he's not even going to be at the draft. Like what? Like or something. I don't know. Like
Yeah, I was confused because I saw something. It said like he'll miss. I said day 3 or some day because of counseling. I was like,
yeah,
I could see how that's important, but it must be a really good reason to miss it on this particular weekend. I'm like, oh, now I see why. We don't want to be a distraction. We don't want the media circus. And so I was like, okay, yeah. So I kind of started going down that rabbit hole, and I was like, okay, interesting.
So
it's it's juicy news, and everyone's all over it, but it'll blow over. People will make fun of him for a while, and then they'll forget about it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how things work.
And sadly, I think the one who gets the most flack is going to be her, right? She's going to be the one that, oh, we can't trust her anymore, and she won't be allowed to do anything. So I think he probably lands on his feet just fine. He'll keep his job, of course. She's the one who's going to wind up paying for it. But whatever.
Oh yeah, no, she's definitely going to pay for it because, I mean, you're supposed to be an unbiased sports reporter, unless of course you're writing for like a hometown team. Then you're a little biased, but that's to be expected. But like when you're working for ESPN, you're supposed to be like unbiased, right?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously there are some biases.
Maybe a little bit.
I saw. Remember when the Titans signed Julio Jones? Because now people are starting to dig up like reports that she had done during that time, and she had some report that like first she reported that like teams were willing to offer the Falcons a first. And then she's like, oh, and the Titans aren't even close. They're not even in the running for Julio Jones. Like, and now people are like, was she doing that to make it easier for the Mike Vrabel and the Titans to get Julio Jones? Right? Because like, if she's reporting that teams are offering first, and you're one of the teams interested in Julio, you're like, we're not going to give up a first for Julio. Are we willing to give up a first for Julio Jones? Right? And then like, oh, the Titans aren't even in the running, so it's like they're just over there. Like I don't know, people are starting to speculate, but
yeah,
she's the one that's going to get hosed the most because I mean, you're supposed to be covering these teams unbiased, right? And obviously,
yeah. Well, she did something to help them land Julio Jones, and she kind of screwed him over, if anything.
Right?
That didn't turn out good. Oh, Julio. Wow. Julio Jones of the Titans. Man, do you remember that happened? I don't remember that happening.
Barely.
Talk about falling off.
Yeah, you're not. By the way, what was the coach of the year? Did she have a coach of the year vote last year? Did he win by one vote? We should re-vote.
Yeah, no, you probably won by more than one vote. Yeah, well, that's very accurate, Keith. That's exactly right. If there's a franchise that's okay with all that, like, come on, that's nothing. Kissing and holding hands, like, come on.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So, anyways, Oh, yeah. Fun side. All right, Vikings make a non-fantasy relevant pick with Caleb Banks. Florida,
Oh,
go defense.
Eagles are trading up.
Interesting. They got their guy, maybe Lemon, maybe. Receiver is going to be
They're
a need.
trading
So
up.
go back to all this thing about AJ Brown. If AJ Brown's out of there, they got Devontae Smith and Jahan Dotson and a bunch of guys. So they're going to need help. So, yeah, this would make sense, wouldn't it, if they take Lemon?
It would make sense, or to take some wide receiver here. They're trading up to 20 with Dallas. I'm not sure. Who did the Panthers? I haven't seen who the Panthers took yet.
No, they're still on the stream. They're still at 18 with the Vikings. So we got Panthers next, then Eagles.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think is it like it seems like every time a team makes a pick, the next pick is already in. Like, is it ESPN that's dragging this thing out?
Of course.
First they tried to ruin the Masters. Now they're dragging out this draft.
Always drag it out. They got to get their content in. They got to make it a certain amount of time. That's nothing new. Keep saying Monroe Freeling to the Panthers. Monroe Freeling, another offensive lineman.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
You know what doesn't make sense? Ian Rappaport's tweet.
What? Which one?
It says cats and dogs. Cowboys and Eagles do a trade. What was cats and dogs? Cowboys and Eagles? What?
Like, yeah, that doesn't quite make sense.
No, if it was like I don't know, Eagles and Bears or something like that, but you're talking about a human being and a bird.
Well, because like they're rivals, they're division, rivals. So cats and dogs, like they should be enemies, but I don't. That doesn't. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess. Okay. All right. I guess so.
Yeah, I think ESPN is trying their hardest these days to just ruin sports in general.
I think so.
Yeah. I remember back in the day when we used to look forward to SportsCenter. It was like awesome.
Yes.
That was a long time ago.
I don't even remember the last time I watched SportsCenter.
No, I legitimately don't watch anything on ESPN if it's not a live sporting event that I have to go to ESPN for. All right, they're a commercial break. So Panthers, we know the pick is in. That means they haven't even shown the update as far as the trade here on their screen, but it looks like they have it on the ticker. So yeah, it should be the Eagles.
And it is Makai Lemon
to the Eagles.
Yes.
Wow. Well, that makes sense, right? They know. I mean, this pretty much spells it out. AJ Brown is gone, like as if we didn't know that. But I mean, to get him at 20, that's pretty good. That's okay. So, Makai Lemon, Philly versus, well, I'd say both, either Tate or Tyson. Tate is in Tennessee, Tyson in New Orleans. Who do you like best?
Yeah, this is going to be tough because I feel like they're all in good spots now. I mean, Tate has a chance to be like McMillan last year, get just the bulk of the targets in that offense. I think, again, Tyson, I had my concerns, but I think this is pretty much one of the best landing spots for him. And this is a great spot for Lemon, again, assuming AJ Brown gets traded, which it sounds like it's going to happen. Yeah, this is going to be tough. I'm going to have to think about it. I mean, this is when I'm at the really think about here because, I had Tate was my number 1. I had Lemon was my number 2. Tyson was my number 4. This is going to be tough. I mean, let's not forget Devonta Smith's still on the Eagles, and he's a good player.
Well, that's the only thing that makes it tricky because, like Tate, okay, definitely going to be the number 1 guy in Tennessee. Offense still not going to be great necessarily, and then Tyson is the number 2 probably in New Orleans, but also I feel like he's just going to take a little more time to develop. Lemon is definitely going to be the number 2 in Philly, but man, if he fills that role properly in that offense, I could see him outproducing both of them. Like he might be the best guy for fantasy right now. Now I'm not saying necessarily for dynasty. I'm talking redraft, but I think I got to put Lemon for redraft right here, right now. I think I got Lemon. I got to put Lemon over Tate.
Yeah. I'm going to have to think about this one. This is tough because, again, they all went to pretty good spots here.
You just got to think about volume, how much Tennessee is going to pass the ball versus how much Philly is going to pass the ball. You know what I mean?
Well, Tennessee might pass more than Philly. Philly does not throw the ball. Although they did bring in Sean Mannion, maybe they'll throw more. But you got to think, got to hope Philly goes back to what worked, running the football.
They got very pass happy last year. That's the thing.
And it didn't work.
Well, not the way they wanted to. I mean, they weren't bad, but obviously they didn't repeat. But I don't know. But Tennessee, I mean, they were losing a lot last year, but they were always low scoring games, and they didn't pass that much. It was very conservative offense. I mean, you think they just open it up this year because now they feel better about having Tate and whatever else they do here?
Well, I don't know if they necessarily open it up, but they're going to be losing a lot.
True. I lost a lot last year.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I think you can make a case for any of these guys, any 3 of these guys right now.
It's weird too, is because like for the Titans, so they got a new coach. It's Sally, right? Robert Sally from San Francisco, formerly in Jets. He's a defensive guy, right? Defensive guy. But they got Brian Daboll at offensive coordinator. Obviously, a more aggressive kind of offensive play caller, and you think they've got to do something different from last year. So I just don't know. I don't know if this is the type of team that's going to go really aggressive in terms of how much they pass. Even though they did pass a lot because they were losing a lot last year, it still didn't result in a lot of yards. I mean, I don't know. I just think I always say this generally more with running backs. I know you just prefer the tiebreakers. Who's in the better offense, And I think to some extent it has to go for a receiver too. Who's the better quarterback? I mean, Cam Ward might be great one day. He's not better than Jalen Hurts right now, and that Philly offense is a lot better than Tennessee offense. So I still think I got to go Lemon over Tate. But
I mean, you're right about that. So, man, yeah, it's gonna be tough.
There it is. They're showing him Lemon at USC. Lemon did get the Biletnikoff Award. It was far more productive than Tate. Of course, different offense, different situation, different competition level. But yeah, I think Lemon's
the Biletnikoff Award is almost a kiss of death.
What's the kiss of death?
The Biletnikoff Award.
The Biletnikoff, yeah. Well,
I remember. This is back when I used to actually use Twitter a lot, and one of those PT guys who do injury things for fantasy was raving about Jalen. I was saying like Jalen Hyatt should be the top wide receiver, and somehow I decided, I don't know how I started arguing with him. And his argument was he won the Biletnikoff, and I'm like, that's your argument? That's your argument? He won the Biletnikoff? It's like the lamest award.
Yeah, the awards in and of themselves now. Yeah, Jalen Hyatt, he's not the only one. Now I'm curious, actually. I'm going to go back and check all the Biletnikoff winners. Got to be somewhere in here. There we go. Nope. Awards. Where is it? Oh, there you go. All right. So last year was Lemon. Year before, okay, Travis Hunter. We'll see. Could be pretty good. The year before that,
he
Marvin
might not
Harrison
even play. He
Jr.
might not even play wide receiver this year.
All right, that's an exception because he happens to be a two-way player. Let's just ignore him. Okay, jury's still out. Marvin Harrison Jr. Not a bust, but not a stud. The year before that, Jalen Hyatt. Okay, bust. Year before that, Jordan Addison. Good.
He's been okay.
It's been good. Devontae Smith. The year before that, Jamar Chase. The year before that. All right. And then we got Jerry Jeudy. Before that, we got James Washington. Wow, James Washington.
See, like when there's one obvious pick, they get it right. Like, okay, Jamar Chase. Like there was no one else to pick. Like it was pretty obvious it was Jamar Chase. It's pretty obvious. You know what I mean?
It's very, yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this list. Very hit or miss. You got Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, and you got Dede Westbrook and Corey Coleman. So it's like a 50-50 proposition. You're either going to be a stud or you're going to be a complete bust. There's no in between. You got Calvin Johnson and then you got Mike Haas.
Yeah, it's like when there's an obvious pick, like, oh, this guy is so much better than everybody else, they get it right.
Yeah. Think Brown will go to the Patriots. It is done. Diana Racina might as well just report it now. She already knows. It's done deal.
She can't report it. She has no more account.
Yeah, well, if she could, then she knows.
She quit the Athletic prematurely because she didn't want it to be a distraction or something. Like that makes no sense. And then she deleted her Twitter account or X account.
Yeah, well, that doesn't scream guilt, but yeah.
I hope she saved money.
I'm sure she made a nice living at ESPN, so yeah. Anyways, let's see. Lemon is an Eagle. I think that's a great spot for him. It's a good pick for them. AJ Brown, yeah, you can pretty much say goodbye to him. Steelers are on the clock, and this draft is in Pittsburgh, so get ready for 20 straight minutes of crowd reaction and fan close-ups before they make the pick.
Well, they go boring. Offensive lineman. No surprise there.
Smart. Yeah. I mean, that can't go wrong with the offensive line at this point. And they didn't. Well, I mean, you always use a receiver, but now all of a sudden they don't need a receiver. Got Pittman in the fold.
Well, again, that's if they believe Pittman's not going to be a cancer.
Mm.
But I do think I think the Browns at 24 is when we could potentially see another wide receiver, but I really hope not. Because that's not going to be a spot I'm going to feel great about.
No, it can't be. Can't, no matter who the quarterback is. Which, by the way, who is the quarterback for the Steelers nowadays? You think Aaron Rodgers comes back?
Well, I guess right now it's Mason Rudolph still. You know, Aaron Rodgers is coming back.
If he wasn't, we would have all known by now, right?
Yes.
Pretty sure. He wants to drag out the farewell tour another decade or so. Yeah, it is Mason Rudolph technically until the inevitable. I mean, come on, they hired Mike McCarthy, didn't they?
They did.
Aaron Rodgers.
It's gonna be Aaron Rodgers
back with his buddy. It's just a given. Yeah, they do have Will Howard.
One or two of my dynasty teams would like to see them give Will Howard a chance.
All right, yeah, Steelers pick is...
But deep down, I know even if they do, it probably won't amount to anything.
No. Probably not. All right, so it's in Steelers, Max. I am not sure.
I am not sure how to pronounce that.
That's exactly. I'm not sure. That's who they picked. All right, so
Chargers
now,
on the clock. I'm guessing they're just going to go defense here or offensive line, something boring.
yeah, Chargers just has to be offensive line, doesn't it? It has to be.
I don't know if it has to be, but we have seen a lot of O linemen go, pretty recently here.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Like Miller got taken already. Breland got taken. Proctor. I don't know who the next really good offensive lineman is. I guess they could go Caleb Lomu, maybe.
I think we're almost down to the last 10 picks.
Yeah. They don't have to go off the line, but they should. Oh, wait. The clock is back. Wow. That mean that
ESPN finally caught up?
I guess. Or they finally have a team that's not sure what they want to do. Well, let's see. Three, 4, 5, 6. Yep. 10 picks left. Well, let's talk a little bit more because I don't know if we're going to see an offensive pick the next couple. So if A.J. Brown does go to the Patriots, how do we view A.J. Brown now? Same?
No, probably the same as I always view A.J. Brown. Like, he'll probably be slightly overdrafted in fantasy. He'll have like 4 or 5, maybe 6 really good games. He'll have 4 or 5 games where he kind of disappears, and then the rest of the games will just kind of be okay. I mean, I certainly think it'll be good for the Patriots. I mean, he's an upgrade over everyone they have. He's an upgrade over what Stephon Diggs gave him last year. So,
yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. It's exactly right. He might get a little overdrafted because, got Drake May there, quarterback, and we'll say, oh, well, it was all Jalen Hurts' fault. They just didn't connect, and now he's going to be happy. Now he's got a better quarterback, and this is a team that just wins the Super Bowl. He still is what he is. I don't think it's necessarily a better offense. So, yeah, obviously, it's going to be like a volatile low end. I don't even know. Is he the low end wide receiver 1 still? Or you think more like a high end wide receiver 2?
I mean, I've kind of been viewing him as a high end wide receiver 2 the last couple of years, but I think he'll be viewed as a low end wide receiver 1 in fantasy. But I will say this about A.J. Brown is, this year, it was when he wanted out of Tennessee and he got traded to the Eagles. Man, he was on fire that first year, right? He's like, yeah, I'll show them. And then he gets unhappy. So he'll probably be on fire this year.
Well, that's a good point. If he got what he wanted. Because didn't seem very happy all last year, so maybe he could have done better. Who knows? The disconnect won't be there.
All right, Chargers went edge. Messador.
Yeah, Chargers did not go offensive line. They took the best player available, which was Akeem Messador from the Miami Hurricanes. Nice pick. There you go. Another Kane.
All right, Cowboys on the clock again.
All right, so excuse me. I'll watch some of these highlights again. Messador is a stud. He's a little bit older compared to some of the other prospects, but I mean, you get a guy who's come in right away and get to the quarterback. So that's good for the Chargers. They needed that too. Yep. blowing up Notre Dame. I remember that. Jeremiah Love didn't do too much in that game. There you go. All right. Good pick. All right, Cowboys on the clock. And then after the Cowboys, we got the Browns. And I think, well, you know what? Wouldn't shock me if the Cowboys did something on offense here, but I'm not going to assume they will.
No, unless they really think like they're going to trade Pickens.
Brandon, what's up? Brandon Carpenter wants to know, is AJ Brown a top 10 pick in fantasy?
Like top 10 overall? No. Top 10 wide receiver? Like maybe. I'd have to look, but top 10 overall, definitely not.
Yeah, not overall. As far as receiver, top 10 receiver, that's kind of exactly, it's like fringe. I don't think so, but he'll be right outside of that. So, I know what you're saying, like I haven't made rankings. There's no point making rankings before the NFL draft because everything changes. So, no, I don't think so. Close, but maybe not quite. Close. All right, they're back. They're back to commercial. All right, so we're waiting on the Cowboys.
Yeah, still waiting on the pick here for the Cowboys.
I will say at this stage, there's nobody really who's been like a big drop. You know, anyone who's still expected to go in the top 10 that's still out there. There weren't any. I don't think there was anybody who really dropped a lot. Bain went lower than he should have. Lemon lasted a little longer than we expected, but not crazy, right? I don't think we've had any huge drops.
No huge drops.
And there's nobody on the board still right now that I think anybody would say, oh man, can't believe he's still out there. Yeah, so no big shocks here either. No crazy trades, no huge moves.
No, but I will say, I mean, good landing spots for the wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Love still like, oh man, he's gonna be a tough. I mean, I'm guessing. Like, what is he going on underdog? What was he going on underdog drafts?
Well, forget it now.
I don't. But that's the thing. Like, I don't think drafters will knock him down that much.
Oh no! This is going to be the opposite. I think he's just going to go up after the draft. All rookies go up, and you know that. But the fact that he was taken, what was it, number 3 overall? No, now he's.
Yeah, I mean, he was going pick 17.
He'll be a top 12 pick, I bet.
I mean, he's going ahead of running backs like Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Jacobs, Travis Achan. I guess that's his. Is that really his name? Kyron Williams.
Wow. Kyron Williams, maybe I could see that, but yeah, he's gonna get overdrafted. Just foregone conclusion. I'm not going to be taking too much of Love. I'm just going to be overdrafted.
All right, Cowboys took pass rusher Malachi Lawrence.
All right. I hate to say it, another pretty smart pick by the Cowboys, addressing their defense.
All right, now Brown's on the clock. Please don't take one of the wide receivers I like.
Yeah, it's a good chance they do. Some mocks have Concepcion going here.
Oh, that'd be brutal.
I mean, it does make sense. Cooper could be Cooper.
I like Cooper, but I'd be like, all right, well, let him go there. That's fine. I mean, I like Cooper, but if he goes to the Browns, oh well.
Right. Wouldn't be as disappointing as a guy like Concepcion, who has a higher ceiling.
Right.
Boston could make sense. You think Denzel Boston?
Yeah, I mean, if they're ready to kind of does the same thing as Tillman. So if they're ready to be done with Tillman.
Tillman flashes, but
yeah,
that's it. And always injured. Let's see.
No, they did pick Concepcion.
They did?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a smart pick by the Browns, but man.
That's it's disappointing. That's disappointing because Shedeur Sanders.
I mean, I know right now he's definitely fourth among the wide receivers. I'd probably in dynasty rookie drafts, I'd probably even have him after Sadiq.
Yeah, there's no way to spin it as a good thing, not because of target competition, not because you're worried about Jerry Jeudy. Just this is not a good franchise. It's not promising. Do you think Sanders? Do you think there's more? Do you think this year he develops and maybe can turn into a good quarterback consistently?
I mean, he could, but I mean, we just saw last year. Harold Fannin was pretty much the only pass catcher that really had any success. I mean, Njoku was doing okay before he got hurt there for a while, but yeah, it's just. I mean, I know it's a whole new staff, but yeah, you can't feel good about a wide receiver on the Browns. You just can't.
No. Well, now that they got him, what do you think about Fannin? Does this ding him at all in any way?
I don't think. No. I think Fannin's going to be awesome this year.
All right. Yes, they got head coaches Todd Monken, who's been with Baltimore. Baltimore and tight ends last couple of years.
Yeah, he's an old crusty. He's an old crusty coach. Like, they're gonna run some basic offense.
Nothing exciting in Cleveland. I doubt it. All right, so it's unfortunate. All right, so who's still out there? Now, Concepcion off the board. Cooper and Boston, probably the only guys who could even be considered in round one. Then we'll kind of wait and see.
Yeah, I think the teams, the Bears are always a wild card with Ben Johnson. You never know. Bills, you never know. It wouldn't shock me if the 49ers take another wide receiver, but hope not. Houston, I could see maybe going wide receiver. Chiefs, maybe. Like your Dolphins at 30 could.
Probably should. You need a receiver.
But it's getting a little thin. It's getting a little thin at wide receiver.
Yeah, if one of those couple of players that I mentioned does fall, I think it's worth it. Actually, who I really like, and I, selfishly would hope the Dolphins might take, but it would probably be tomorrow. I really like Chris Bell. I think he's one of the better, most talented receivers here, and because of the injury, he'll fall. Not that he was amazing or anything, but he had moments. I like him, so nice. It'd be nice if they take him tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow. So on round 2 for tomorrow, the Jets get the number 1, the 2.1, and then we go Arizona and Tennessee. So, and then the Raiders. So just a little bit flip there.
Arizona going to go Jadarian Price.
Yeah, I mean that just makes sense. Just keep the gang together. Dolphins have 43rd pick, 11th to 11. Take a receiver there. At least we have draft picks. We don't have good actual NFL caliber players on the roster. We got draft picks.
Got to start somewhere.
Exactly. And there it is. Casey Concepcion.
Definitely like him a lot. I mean, maybe he can overcome it, but you can't feel good.
Yeah, not the best landing spot. So definitely last out of all the receivers so far.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to come down, like if I'm thinking about like dynasty rookie drafts, it's like I think I still would have Love 1. I'd probably have Mendoza 2, assuming it's super flex.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tate, Tyson, Lemon in some order. I think I got to go Sadiq over Concepcion. I mean, at least for as bad as Gino was, he did at least get the ball to Brock Bowers.
You got to think next year, Jets will be in the running for one of those top quarterback prospects. So just hope long term.
Maybe, but we've said that many times about teams, and they're still in the running for top quarterback prospects.
This is
so
true.
It's hard to bank on that, but I just think like it's just hard to envision a wide receiver succeeding in Cleveland.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Let's see. Flashbacks to Josh Gordon.
He was probably the last one, right? I mean, Jerry Jeudy with Jameis Winston for half a year.
Yeah, that doesn't count. It needs to be like a whole season. Yeah, man, that one magical season. Oh, Josh Gordon, what could have been?
All right, Bears go safety. Thank goodness they didn't go wide receiver. I do feel like the Bills or Niners could shock us with like wide receiver.
Well, I have seen Boston mocked to the Niners, which seems odd because he seems a little similar to the guy they just got, Mike Evans, but
exactly that makes no sense. But teams aren't always just drafting for this year either, right? So
right. Yeah, no, that's true.
Like when the Bucs took Igbokwe last year, we were like, what are they doing? But it allowed them to move on from Mike Evans this year, right? It allowed them to be like, okay, if we can't work out a deal with Mike Evans, it's okay because we have Igbokwe, we have Godwin, we have McMillan.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's true. Things change quickly, especially wide receiver. All right. Well, they haven't announced it, but like you said, the Bears seems like the pick is in. And you said what? Safety?
Yeah, from Oregon.
Oh, Theinman or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, so the Bills have traded back. The Texans have moved up 2 spots. This could definitely be wide receiver.
The Texans? Wow, interesting.
Well, I mean, maybe not. I mean, well, it depends. Do they believe? I mean, they did. They took Higgins and Knoll last year.
Yeah,
Higgins showed flashes. Knoll really didn't.
it was okay. It was okay.
He's okay. Do they feel like they need? I mean, Boston doesn't make sense because again, that's like Nico is one of those traditional X wide receivers. But could they be looking at maybe like a Cooper Jr. to occupy that slot role? I like Antonio Williams a lot too.
Yeah, he's interesting, but I don't think he's a day one pick.
No.
You'd think they definitely don't need defense. So I don't even know who the best prospect is. Offensive line always makes sense, and they could
Well,
bolster
if
that.
the Texans are drafting by need, it's offensive line, right? That offensive
Right.
line was horrible.
But I can't think who they're trading up for that they really thought they wouldn't get into picks. But they know someone we don't. Because it's the Bills, right? They traded with the Bills.
Yeah.
So who did they think the Bills were going to take?
Well, it's kind of like this. I wonder if teams like think about this too, because when you're doing like a fantasy draft and maybe you're like 4 picks away and there's a player on the board you really want, and in your mind you just think like everybody probably really wants this guy, right?
Yeah, whether it's true or not.
So if you could, you'd be like, I would just trade up right now to make sure I get him. I wonder if NFL teams just think that way, where they're like, we can't risk it. This is just trade up a few spots and get them.
Yeah, well, that's true. It may not even be true or make sense that this team or that team is going to take them. I think with the Chiefs earlier, that's probably what it was. They're like, yeah, Saints are going to take this guy, but
Yeah.
here, who knows? All right, well, the Bears pick is being announced. We'll say too. I'll never watch the whole thing, but also thankfully the NFL, it seems they've cut out a lot of the extraneous, crap like the having someone get up and give a 5-minute speech before announcing the pick, and having someone like put on a performance or something. They had a lot of that stuff, like way too much. Like, the pick is in, and then let me read this poem I wrote first. It's like,
yeah. So according to Adam Schefter, the 49ers are attempting to trade their pick.
all right.
Not sure they will, but they're attempting to.
They just really just don't want to pick here. Just like, just get rid of this.
Well, I always think that's a good strategy. Honestly, I think it's a good strategy even in like dynasty startup drafts. If you're on the clock or coming up on the clock and there's no like standout player on where you're like, man, I have to get this guy. If there's like I do this in my rookie drafts, everything. Like if there's like a handful of guys I would be happy with here, it makes sense to trade back and just take one of them. You know what I mean? And get another pick.
Yeah. No, it must mean that there's not somebody that they covet or feel that they need. So sure, if that's the case, why not? Okay.
All right. So the Texans are taking offensive line guard Kalen Rutledge.
All right. So that makes sense. I mean, there's a need for the Texans. It's definitely offensive line, and that would make sense if you're trading up. That's not a guy who is necessarily projected for sure to be a first rounder, but obviously they wanted him. So
all right. And the 49ers did trade that pick to your Dolphins. Dolphins now on the clock at 27.
Really? Dolphins traded up. Okay.
Yes.
So who were they going to get? I mean, it could be receiver. Boston?
Yeah. Let's hope not. I mean,
Come on.
really, whatever
It's not
wide
as bad as
receiver goes to
Cleveland.
whatever wide receiver goes to the Dolphins is like dead for fantasy this year, right?
Oh, come on. Well, that depends. Do you think Malik Willis is a bust? Like, going to be a horrible
Yeah,
quarterback?
yes, yes,
Okay, well then, yeah.
yes.
I don't like. I think Malik Willis could be serviceable.
Running the
It's
ball,
gonna
be serviceable. Running the ball.
it's going to be a pretty conservative offense because they're going to center around Achane and Willis, his athleticism. They don't have receivers. Even if they draft one in the first round, your best receiver is a rookie receiver and Tutu Atwell. Like, it's okay. They're going to be a slow paced, more conservative offense. Mike McDaniel's gone, right? They're going to do the opposite of everything that had just gone. It's going to be the opposite. It's going to be the most boring offense in the world. So I get that. The volume won't be there, but whoever gets taken, if they take a first round receiver, he's going to get a ton of targets relative to everyone else. The target share, I should say. He's going to get a huge target share.
Yeah, huge target share and a horrible offense. I'm good.
You're just like out on the Dolphins. You should be.
I mean, I'm gonna have a hard. Last year I was like all in on Achane.
Oh yeah, Achane. He's the exception.
I'm gonna have a hard time even drafting Achane this year.
Well, I was wondering if you think the offense is gonna be that bad. But look, it's not like Tua was good last year. It's not like they could pass the ball very well. So is really gonna be that much worse? You think?
Well, it's not just going from Tua to Malik Willis, which I think is a downgrade. It's going from Mike McDaniel to Jeff Hatley, the defensive coordinator from the Packers.
Yeah,
it's going to be a totally different offense.
It's going to be a very boring offense.
Look at the 3 years in Miami. Raheem Mostert became a monster in that Mike McDaniel system. Remember that? Raheem Mostert at 30 years old was a monster. And then Achane in the last few years, that is like the Mike McDaniel offense is to running backs like what the Sean McVay offense is to quarterbacks and wide receivers. It's like the cheat code. It's a cheat code for running backs. It's why I'm like all in on Hampton this year, Amari and Hampton. Cheat code. Not going to have that this year. I don't know. I'm pretty out on the Dolphins. I mean, I think, yeah. In fact, I remember when Achane, the year Achane was drafted, I was like, this guy's tiny. This is before the draft. This guy's tiny. He's just going to be a special teamer. There's no chance. And then I remember specifically when he was selected by Miami, I was like, well, that was the one team. That was the one team where he has a chance. So now I got to be in on Achane. That was literally the one spot, and it worked. But now he's not with McDaniel anymore. Like, nah.
So how low do you go on Achane? You don't even think he's like a second rounder?
Well, that's tough because he's been so good the last 2 years. I mean, I probably won't have very much Achane because where is he being drafted right now? He's picked 14. You know what? He's being drafted right ahead of Saquon Barkley, Kenneth Walker, Omari Hampton. I'd rather have all those guys. I think Saquon Barkley is poised for a huge year this year. I think this is what happens with Saquon, right? It's like he has a down year. Everybody kind of forgets about him. Then he shows everybody how good he is. And then last year, even though he wasn't bad, just wasn't to the standards of the year before. And now everybody's kind of like down on Saquon again. I think he's poised for a huge bounce back. Like, I'd rather have all three of those guys over Achane.
Yeah, Saquon for sure. He's going to be undervalued. And the real question is you just go with the Mike McDaniel back, the current or the former, is Achane or Hampton. That's where it gets interesting. And I agree. I mean, I think I agree. I go Hampton.
Yeah, give me Hampton. Give me Kenneth Walker with the Chiefs too.
man, I know it's Kenneth Walker, and I've always liked Kenneth Walker, and I realize like Super Bowl MVP and all that. And man, are the Chiefs really going to commit? This is a Chiefs running back. I have issues with Chiefs running back. Are the Chiefs really going to commit to making somebody a workhorse back? Are they really going to do it?
Yes. Yes.
We'll see.
All right, Dolphins took San Diego State cornerback Chris Johnson, not to be confused with 2,000-yard rusher running back Chris Johnson.
We could use him. Although, actually, I guess that's the one thing we don't need is running back. Everything else, yes. All right, so it wasn't a receiver. But you know what? I'm fine with that because there wasn't a specific receiver. I'm like, get this guy right here, right now. I'm still, on the fence about Boston as a prospect. Like I said, I'd rather wait till tomorrow and we can grab either a Chris Bell or Omar Cooper. I think I'd be happier with that. Now, if we wait longer than that, we'll not be happy because then it's just like really a crapshoot at receiver. But
yeah.
Chris Johnson was projected to be a late first rounder, so that's good. Corner, we needed it. There you go. All right. So again, boring, but not a bad pick. But you know what? Like you said, that's going to be the identity of this team anyways.
Yeah.
It's going to be boring.
Exactly. Boring, slow. That's what I'm saying. It's like the exact opposite of what we're used to with the Dolphins offense.
Yes. They're going to turn it into the complete opposite. It's going to be a very boring team. And yeah, I see Keith, you're saying like they have to throw to someone. So you're right. It's not going to be a first-round receiver. It could be a second-round receiver.
But the trail of they have to throw to someone is littered with wide receiver busts.
Yeah. No.
That's not always a good argument for why to draft a wide receiver. Like, in fact, that's usually a bad argument. Like, if the argument is they have to throw to someone, that's usually not a good thing.
Right. It just means that their offense is horrible.
Exactly. Like last year, the argument was, well, the Steelers have to throw to someone. How'd that work out if you drafted DK Metcalf? That was literally the argument for DK Metcalf, right? Was he's all they got. That was the argument for Pickens his first 2 years, and that's all they got. He's all they got. I fell for Pickens. You know what I mean? Like when that's the argument, that's usually not a good thing.
Well, okay, but okay, with that exception, okay. So Pittsburgh, yeah, we should know not to trust Pittsburgh passing offense, especially these days. Pickens and Metcalf are like legit stud athletes and receivers who could be dominant at times. They were in bad spots because they were in Pittsburgh, but yes, I know what you're saying. That reasoning is usually just leads to trouble.
Right, because if you take a really good player and you put him in a good situation, like you take a really good wide receiver and you put him in a good situation, the argument isn't he's all they've got. The argument is, oh my gosh, George Pickens finally has a real quarterback and a real offensive system, right? That's the argument.
Yeah.
When the argument is he's all they've got, it's like, okay, so there's not that it's bad. You're basically what you're saying is it's bad, and you're just hoping volume can overcome the badness.
Yeah, that's not a winning formula. We learned, especially last year, like you said, George Pickens is a perfect example. It's better to have a really good number 2 receiver in an elite offense than the number 1 receiver in a bad offense. And we've known this forever. Just nobody in Arthur Smith offense.
Don't trust Arthur Smith.
We don't have to worry about it anymore. He's gone.
Right. The Bills traded down again, which they love to do in the first round. Patriots are now on the clock at 28.
Bills fans are loving Andrea. I know you're still on here. What do you think? You just want them to draft somebody? She wants a receiver. It makes sense. There's still some decent receivers left. I don't know if they're going to go receiver. They could have DJ Moore, but we'll see. See what they do. Dolphins. Well, I never anymore have any illusions of the Dolphins being actually good. So we're going to rebuild, at least rebuild in a smart way, right? Offensive line, secondary. It's sound strategy. At least I don't have to delude myself to take Dolphins players in fantasy, because now I just know there's no point.
No point. So who are the Patriots looking at here?
Confirmed. Andrea not thrilled that they aren't drafting anybody. But not surprised. They do this all the time. Yes, they do. They love to not draft early. Hey,
Patriots go offensive tackle Caleb Lomu.
Yeah, smart pick. Well, I mean, Patriots did not address their offensive line. Yeah, I mean, after that game.
Yeah. All right. 4 more picks. As of now, it's Chiefs, Niners, Bills, Seahawks. Will it stay Chiefs, Niners, Bills, Seahawks? We'll see.
Yeah, until the Bills trade down again. Chiefs. Well, Chiefs could throw a curveball here. What do you think they do? Go boring, or?
I think they go boring. Sounds like Rashee Rice is going to be fine, at least for now.
Somehow.
They got Xavier Worthy still there. Remember, they spent a pretty early, but didn't they draft him in the first round? Was that 2 years ago? How many years has Xavier Worthy been in the league now?
Yeah, it's gonna be his 3rd year.
Yeah, it's 3rd year, right? So
he was a late 1st round pick. Yeah, I'd like to see him
draft Eli Stowers. I'd like to see him draft Eli Stowers just for like the chaos.
Well, that wouldn't be the worst pick. I would think they go offensive line too, if there's anybody worth drafting. So I don't know who else is even left that's worth drafting offensive line. Now that Lomu's gone, they might go secondary again. Actually, they could. All right, so as the pick is in, we'll see. And it's commercial break.
It's they took defensive tackle Peter Woods.
All right, nice and boring. So we got 3 left. Is that right? 3 picks.
3 picks left.
Niners, Bills, and then the Seahawks. Well, it will be interesting. I think that's the only last one. Is does Seattle take Price or our running back?
I could see it. I could see it. I could see him not. I could see him, feeling like we're fine. But
I mean, well, it's not the biggest need, but what do they need? You don't really need much. You just want it all. But they don't need defense. Did they lose anybody big in free agency? Like what?
Yeah, I feel like they did. I feel like they did lose some big players on the defensive side.
Yeah, that's the only thing is why it's so tough to repeat. Is once you do win it all, then coaches leave, big guys get paid and leave. Kenneth Walker was the big one that left for them. I don't think they lost anybody huge on the defense, though, did they? I don't think they did. Boye Mafe, I don't think that's a huge. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Tariq Woolen. So they could go secondary. Yeah. Maybe that's it. Which would be boring. By the way, Reek Woolen, UTSA. Crazy UTSA grad. And he
Yep.
NFL.
It is crazy.
Yep. UTSA. Where's my hat? I don't know what UTSA's has. So. Got a UTSA fan. My daughter goes to UTSA. So. Let's see.
Oh, Jets. Jets into the first round. 49ers not in the first, out of the first round.
And Niners and Bills just do not want to draft anybody tonight.
Wow, who are the Jets? What are the Jets going to do here?
So is this going to be the third pick in the first round for the Jets?
Yes. Took Bailey at 2, Sadiq at 16. Now whoever they're going to take at 30.
Let's make it a bust. Come on. No, I don't really want to see the Jets be good. The Jets somehow becoming good, like playoff good, while the Dolphins are like rebuilding and being last place.
Not sure you have to worry about the Jets making the playoffs just yet.
I would still trade it for last season, the Hurricanes being in the championship game. Still worth it. If there must be a trade-off, which there always must be. I said I'm a very realistic Dolphins fan. All right, yeah, it looks like they're announcing the Chiefs pick. They're pretending to announce the Chiefs pick. Like, there you go. Peter Woods. No, not too bad. I don't know. What do the Jets need besides everything now?
They still have significant needs. They obviously don't need tight end.
Haven't addressed the defense except for Bailey. They haven't addressed the secondary. Pretty much need everything.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Omar Cooper.
Is it? Wow.
But I mean, he's a good compliment to Garrett Wilson, but I mean, how good are we gonna feel about Omar Cooper on the Jets?
Well, I'm not gonna feel good about him or Sadiq this year, but again, we gotta think long term. If the Jets jet and they have a nice draft pick next year, or they trade up or whatever happens, if they get a good young quarterback prospect.
If
that's a big if. That's a big assumption, isn't it? But Cooper's a nice player. I mean, I think he was worth being a late first round pick. Yeah, I do like Cooper. Not going to be a stud necessarily, but he doesn't need to be. This is a good fit for him because he can be the number 2 alongside Garrett Wilson. And you got Sadiq there to help stretch the field. So I think this is a good fit.
No, I think I agree. It's a good fit. He'll be able to play the slot role, which I think he needed. So that's good. But I mean, it's a New York Jet Geno Smith offense.
Yeah. Now this year it's not going to be worth drafting Omar Cooper. That's for sure. Yeah, that's what makes it tricky for a team like that. Like when we're thinking Dynasty, and we're streaming this on the Dynasty channel as well. You got to think differently because things change very quickly. Because Geno Smith is almost surely not going to be the quarterback a year from now. So,
right.
Who is it going to be? I mean, we have no idea because when you think you know, you don't know. But at least they're building something there. At least they've got some promise.
Yeah, I mean, I will say for me, if you're watching this on the Dynasty channel, there's definite tiers for me. Like love, assuming Superflex, Love, Mendoza are like the first tier for me. They're 1, 2. Then those 3 wide receivers, Tate, Tyson, Lemon, they'd probably be the next tier. Then I think I'd probably just put like Sadiq, Concepcion, and Cooper together in the next tier. And Ty Simpson in his own tier way down at the bottom.
Yeah. That's super. Only Dynasty Superflex.
And even then, I don't know if I would even draft them.
No, I wouldn't. No. I mean, look, just give Sean McVay credit, but let's not just assume he's going to make any quarterback into, Pro Bowler. Still has to be a good player. So I obviously see something. He likes him, see what happens.
Well, now I'm seeing, according to Hayden Winks, he watched the press conference and he said Sean McVay did not seem excited about the Simpson pick, but Les Snead was very excited. So maybe that was like Les Snead overruling Sean McVay and saying get Simpson. I don't know.
There's no way after being there all this time and everything that McVay doesn't have say in who he's going to pick. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt. Guy who's got a Super Bowl and they're just going to be like, after all these years, nah, there's no way. I think that's a little projection.
Probably. Oh, Titans just traded up.
Titans?
Bills. Well. Bills. Sorry, Andrea.
They legit did not want to pick tonight. Neither did the Niners. Okay, so we got Titans Seahawks.
For now, we'll see if the Seahawks make a pick, but that's it. Titans Seahawks to finish here.
All right. Well, Bills fans. That's about right. Unreal.
In the words of the great, you'll remember this. In the words of the great Twins announcer, who I cannot remember his name, after Kirby Puckett's insane home run, we'll see you tomorrow night, Bills fans. He didn't say Bills fans.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow night.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. At least your team doesn't need to have a draft pick until the end of the first round and can afford to move down because they actually make the playoffs.
Right? Exactly.
Like, come on. Exactly. Let's do you really want a high draft pick or do you want a playoff team? I would take a playoff team.
Yes.
And like even yeah, well, that's the worst though to be like in the middle, because even like Jets fans are like, oh, you got something to be excited about. Like you got stud, Bailey, and you got 3 first rounders, and you got this promise, at least you got hope. I think all these teams are kind of in the middle, like, well, we didn't have a great draft pick, and well, we weren't a great team last year, like the Panthers and the Steelers are like those very fringe teams,
Yeah, that's the worst place to be.
All right, pick is in. Supposedly, allegedly, Titans. Let's see what they do. Don't need a receiver. Pretty sure not going receiver here. I would think they might go offensive line, but I don't know who's left. That's the best available.
I mean, the Bills got a second, a third, and a fourth.
Yeah,
that's smart. Just to move back 4 spots.
Yeah, it's smart. They're going to draft players, just not tonight. Hey,
all right. Titans, I don't know. Titans went Kendrick Faulk from Auburn, edge rusher.
Okay. He was expected to be a first rounder. That's a good pick. Like, can always use another edge rusher. And then now the only drama is, does Seattle take Price running back? Or do they go boring? Good move. See, exactly. Good move. All right. Well, after this pick, will be over. So just real quick, thank you everyone who's been hanging out with us. Of course, all
Yes.
our most loyal fans. We appreciate you, and we will be doing this again tomorrow. So hopefully, we'll see you again. If anybody happens to be new here, maybe you're watching this back or whatever, it doesn't hurt to subscribe. We'll be doing football content year round, like we always do. All right.
All right. Who's going to be Mr. Not So Irrelevant?
Jets had their 3 picks. Titans had a couple now, but I feel like the Titans are still going to be in rebuild mode pretty hard this year.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying the Jets won't. Like, I don't see Geno Smith leading them to the playoffs. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. I feel like the Jets had winner tonight, it's got to be the Jets.
Yeah, I think the Giants had a great draft, first round.
Giants, yeah.
Jets, I thought the Browns did what they needed to do. I don't really feel like I think Jeremiah Love's going to be a great player, but I think the Cardinals are going to
regret it.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say you're ever going to regret drafting a good player, but if Reese or Bailey end up being just absolute, studs at game-changing type positions, then yeah, you probably will regret it.
Well, the thing is, you're drafting someone number 3 overall. He needs to be more than a good player. He needs to be a great player to make it worth it. So I just don't know. I don't know if I see him as that, but we'll see. Yeah, Giants, you're right. I hate to say it, but the Cowboys.
Yep. Yeah, I hate to say it. Giants and Cowboys.
The New York teams, the Cowboys. Yeah, Cardinals, and
even the Eagles getting Lemon, I mean, that was good. I mean, the Commanders getting Styles fine with that too. So it's not like, it's not like they didn't have a good draft, but
and then
they only had that one pick. So
yeah, it's hard to say anybody had a bad draft after one pick, but it's the Cardinals pick seems like a reach. The Rams pick, I'm not on board with. Everybody else played it safe.
There we go. Jadarian Price to the Seahawks.
There you go. All right. What do you think?
I'm not a Jadarian Price fan. But this is one of the best spots.
It's a great spot. He's a talented player, but again, he's the number 2 behind Love. He doesn't have that high in production, and there are some limitations here.
Yeah, there are definitely some limitations that have me worried. Like the comp for me was James Cook, and I know people are going to be like, James Cook and the Seahawks, that's awesome, but the reason why I say James Cook is because James Cook did not profile as a great runner at the next level, but he landed in a situation where teams are so worried about Josh Allen that he hardly ever faces any stacked boxes, right? It's just these wide open running lanes. Price was really bad against stacked boxes last year. Maybe Seattle's enough of a spot, but I don't know. I don't know if Seattle's enough of our team's going to be that scared of Sam Darnold. He only ran a 4.49 940 at 203 pounds. But the Seahawks need a running back, so wow.
It's a good situation. I agree. I don't think he's a great player, but he could be a good player. Charbonnet's still there, right? Charbonnet's going to be there. No, he was hurt, but
Yeah, but he's probably gonna. I mean, you got to think he's gonna miss most or all the season. Man,
My worry is the same thing. Price is going to be overdrafted now because he's on the Seahawks. He's not a great player.
Yep, I know. I think it's gonna be. This is gonna. Price is gonna be another tough one for me because you can't overlook the situation. I mean, what do they have? Emmanuel Wilson and George Holani. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of competition here. They took him at the end of the first round, so the Seahawks obviously like him.
Well, yeah. I mean, that matters, right? Draft stock matters. You draft a guy in the first round to have him sit. So,
the last time we saw a running back get picked at number 32 to what looked like a great situation, his name was Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Well,
and kind of similar, right? Like Clyde Edwards-Helaire was one of these guys that was like, he was one of the better running back prospects in that class, but there was like JT was in that class. I think there were a couple others. And he went to the Chiefs with pick 32. I remember we were shocked. We were like, oh my gosh, they took a running back at 32.
Well, I would say with Edwards-Helaire, he wasn't expected to be a first-round running back, and he only went because Pat Mahomes, for some reason, loved him. He's like, that's my guy. I got to get my boy. And at that point, they're like, yeah, whatever. Draft picks. We don't care. We win Super Bowl. So it was like a luxury pick, and they took him, and it didn't work out. But, yeah, I think Price is slightly better prospect than Edwards-Helaire, but I feel like he's a first-rounder just because – after Love, like what else is there? It's a weak running back class.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. We'll see where these guys land tomorrow. Man.
Tomorrow we'll see more running backs taken, that's for sure. So we'll break it all down. But that's it. Round 1 is over. So day 1 in the books. We'll break it all down and see what happens tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to be even more interesting. And players landed in places we did not expect. It wasn't a crazy first round, right? Nothing crazy happened today, but some interesting landing spots.
Yes, and there will be more tomorrow, so for sure.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging with us, and have a good rest of your night, and see you for day 2.